Get the most out of your fireplace this season. For a limited time, save even more. Get up to a $2,000 tax credit when Chimney Solutions installs your new wood-burning stove by the end of the year. And ask for $100 off chimney caps, get $100 off chimney caps. ChimneyIndy.com.
Can you hear me?
So can your customers. Get your message heard. Text BUSINESS to 71007 now. Get results with Radio 1.
B's offering our Black Friday extended sale. 52% off, 10% manufacturer rebates, and 18 months, no interest, no payments.
Proud to be an employee of Woo!
Coming up in 2 minutes, why police on the east side fired their guns on Wednesday. Plus, the judge in the Delphi murders case is staying consistent. And Ryan Hedrick tells you why you should probably take those Christmas lights off your car. I'm Kirk Darling. That and more coming up from the Technology Recyclers Studios after Fox News Radio at the top of the hour. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 9 o'clock.
The Secret Service under scrutiny again. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. At a hearing that'll start this hour, Acting Director Ronald Rowe will be questioned by the House Task Force investigating the Trump assassination attempts, especially the security failures at the first one in July when the president-elect was bloodied, his ear grazed by a bullet at a rally in Butler, Pennsylvania.
He said while he cannot undo the harm that's been done, he is committed to doing everything in his power to ensure that the Secret Service never has a failure like this again. Now, that's a quote from his prepared opening statement that he's expected to deliver this morning.
As Fox's Brooks Singman, Trump Defense Secretary nominee Pete Hegseth insists he'll not back down, telling the Wall Street Journal he won't give in to a textbook media takedown amid allegations of sexual misconduct, alcohol abuse on the job, and financial mismanagement. And despite the president-elect considering replacing him, Hegseth keeps meeting with and getting support from Republican senators. Ron Johnson tells Fox.
He certainly conveyed to me the priorities of what he would do as defense secretary, and I agree with him.
It's day 2 of the manhunt in a Manhattan murder, searching for the masked gunman who killed United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson outside a New York City hotel. Fox's Chanley Painter reports.
Crime Stoppers is now offering a $10,000 reward for information on the gunman, and the New York Post also reporting this, that police obtained the suspect's Starbucks trash he threw away, so maybe they'll have DNA, which may, of course, lead to an arrest eventually.
The Post also reports police found messages written on bullets and shell casings at the scene. The words deny, depose, and defend on them. Thompson's wife says the CEO had been receiving threats. 2 kids, age 5 and 6, remain in critical condition in California after the kindergartners were shot in their religious private school by a gunman who then killed himself. Butte County Sheriff Corey Honey says it appears he
targeted this school because of its affiliation with the Seventh-day Adventist Church.
America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
He attacked with a machete. Radar is clear. It's mostly sunny, 13 degrees downtown. I'm Kirk Darling. Here's what's trending at 9:02. That's what Indy Metro Police say happened when a man came at an IMPD officer. That officer ended up fatally shooting the man Wednesday afternoon.
We believe that, he anticipated a confrontation with the police. And that ultimately ended in his death tonight.
IMPD Chief Chris Bailey, the original call was a little before 4 when police were sent to a disturbance on the east side. Power restored to thousands during the overnight hours. That after intense wind gusts shut the lights off to as many as 8,000 homes in the Indy Metro between Duke Energy and AES Indiana customers. They were prepared this time, says Natalie Duncan with AES.
We're going to be prepared for anything that comes our way, whether it's cold or wind.
The judge overseeing the Delphi murders case is staying consistent with the media. Judge Fran Gull says TV cameras and audio recorders will not be allowed in the courtroom in Carroll County when Richard Allen is sentenced on December 20th. Congresswoman Victoria Spartz remembering the life of fallen Elwood police officer Noah Chavez.
Tragically, on July 31, 2022, Noah's life was cut short during a routine traffic stop. He was ambushed and fatally shot by an individual with a violent criminal history.
She proposed a bill Wednesday to rename the post office in Elwood right after him. It was unanimously approved by the House. If you're thinking about putting Christmas lights on your car, you might want to rethink that. Ryan Hedrick explains.
That's because it's illegal, says State Police Sergeant Glenn Fifield.
By statute, the only lights that can be visible from the front facing are white or amber. The rear, obviously, your tail lights, which are red.
Fifield says some window tint shops are installing these lights, but that doesn't mean that you won't get a ticket by the cops if they pull you over. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Big Ten play starts tonight for the Purdue Boilermakers on the hardwood. They face Penn State on the road at 6:30. Traffic on the 5s, Matt Bear.
All right, Kurt, looking at the west side, it is an overturned cab and semi-trailer on the exit ramp from southbound 465 to westbound 70. Now, the two ramp lanes are blocked on the left side. The ramp is open, but we do have a delay onto 465 for people wanting to make that exit to I-70. Also looking at northbound 465 on the southwest side, that exit to I-70 also slow right now while crews work on that overturned semi. Northbound 6570, this is downtown stop-and-go traffic. Michigan Street through the North Split to Meridian Penn. Traffic sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone. What makes AutoZone America's #1 battery destination? Because they offer free battery testing and charging and reliable replacement batteries, and they've always got your battery solution. Get in the zone, AutoZone. I'm Matt Bear. Follow us for instant traffic updates at WIBC Traffic.
What does the joy of Christmas mean to you? A gift? Time with family? Decorations and traditions? At Shepherd Community, the joy of Christmas is learning to read, feeling safe and loved, finding a stable job, and having a community that cares. Shepherd gives its neighbors gifts of joy and hope for a brighter future. You can give the joy of Christmas to neighbors living in poverty, not just at the holidays, but all year long. Visit caringatchristmas.org/give. That's caringatchristmas.org/give.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Looking for the hottest trends in jewelry this year? Come to Pierce Jewelers and see their Love to Love collection in lab-grown diamond jewelry. Shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers.
This hour powered by bwindow.com, where their annual 52% off Black Friday has been extended.
The forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Below zero wind chill values for the morning here. We'll look for mostly sunny skies, still breezy and cold with highs near 23. Clear and cold tonight with lows in the teens. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Tara Hastings for 93 WIBC.
13 degrees, mostly sunny on Monument Circle. I'm Kirk Darling on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Good morning. It is Thursday, December 5th. It is 7 minutes after 9 with Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. You're singing. That's all. What are you singing?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Things just come to me.
Yeah. Well, oh, was that an original?
No, I think it was Thunder Road.
Oh, okay.
It's been around a while. I mean, don't you ever just you're just doing you ever do that where you're just doing things and then you've done the thing and you're like, I didn't even know I was doing that until somebody pointed out I was doing it.
Yeah. Well, you just walked in here singing and kept on going.
I do this all the time, and I'm worried at some point I'm going to reveal my deepest, darkest secrets out loud. I talk to myself so often. Someday I'm gonna reveal where the Cloven Diamond is. You know, I don't know. Anyway,
the platform's yours if you'd like to reveal. Start revealing. No problem getting into work today. I take it you were not on 465 at any point.
I was every day, Casey. Was there a problem on 465?
Well, there's a lot of traffic this morning.
Really?
On 465.
It was totally normal for me. I go the same work. I've gone the same way to work almost every day, other than unless there's some sort of major infrastructure impediment,
construction project
for 8 years. Can you believe I've been here 8 years now? 8 years I've been here.
Yes.
You know what the odds of anybody making it in radio for 8 years are? Much less the odds of me making it in radio anywhere.
I probably
me making it
would've
anywhere
lost
for 8
that
years.
If I was placing a bet.
This is my longest professional relationship.
Well, one guy did not make it into work, and that was Brian Thompson. Police in New York City searching for the gunman who shot and killed the United Healthcare CEO. This happened yesterday outside the Hilton Hotel in Midtown Manhattan. The shooter waited several minutes for him to pass by at the hotel, shot him in the back, and after a gun jam, he approached Thompson, who was on the ground, and then fired again. They have found some of the shell casings at the scene. The words deny, defend, and depose were engraved on the casings.
Okay, so this has obviously captivated the public's imagination for several reasons. Not lost among us is the fact that it was caught on camera. And obviously you have seen a person's brutal execution in real time. Now, a couple of things that stand out. One, to me, was the fact that there is an eyewitness to this. There is a woman on this video. So this guy was the person who was brutally murdered, was the head of one of the largest insurance companies in the country, right? And there is a bevy of things that have begun to leak out about things involving potentially this guy and this company. And, you know, obviously people are starting to look for answers on these things. But it was caught on, you know, a street camera, caught this guy's execution. And the fact that there was an eyewitness standing right next to the executioner who clearly had to have seen her because she starts to flee after the shooting begins and did nothing. It's very Godfather-esque in the sense of like the scene in the Italian restaurant where, you know, he shoots the cop and then walks right out and everybody's seen him. But the thing is, in the chaos or calamity of the moment, it doesn't matter. They won't recognize you. They won't be able to identify you, whatever. So there's now, of course, just obviously the fact that you have a guy brutally murdered for the world to see. He's a very powerful, prominent person. He was in New York. He does not live in New York, correct?
No, he's from Minnesota.
Right. So clearly it appears they knew he was going to be there and he was targeted as such. And so you're left to believe, and obviously I'm not trying to play Inspector Clouseau or the Pink Panther here.
Yeah.
But the fact that he, I mean, the brazenness of the act, the way it was done, the clear knowledge of the shooter that where he was going to be and when leads you to believe it was a professional hit of some sort.
Yeah, you mean the knowledge of the victim of where he was going to be.
The knowledge of the shooter knowing where the victim was going to be. Yes, correct.
So it is surprising to many people how quickly that video came out. The surveillance images show that he was wearing this dark jacket, a hood, a face mask, black and white sneakers, the gray backpack. They're now even putting out images of exactly what type of backpack he had, how much it cost. New York Police Department offering up to $10,000 for information leading to the arrest and the conviction of this guy. He allegedly got away on a city bike. And
so this is the other thing that's interesting is, okay, when you say city bike, for some people who may not be familiar, can you tell people what that is?
Well, it's like the scooters that are around town.
Right.
You know, you use it, drop it off wherever you're going, and then somebody else will pick it up and use it for their errands.
Okay, yeah. So for those of you who have never been to downtown Indianapolis, they have these devices that you can get on scooters, bicycles, whatever. You put it's probably done through an app now, right? Like you get on this application on your phone and it'll tell you where they are, and they've got an identification number on them, and you rent them. And so to me, shouldn't that kind of narrow down who the person was or where they went? Or I mean, there had to be some sort of payment method used to rent the thing, etc. And I've thought this for the past day now. Shouldn't there be some sort of ability to track this person?
I'm amazed at how quickly everybody has become an assassin expert.
Yes, right.
Everybody thinks they know exactly what happened in this case. John Walsh from America's Most Wanted, he was on with Jesse Waters last night, and he said, in his opinion, it looked like the gun was a homemade gun, something that the guy learned how to make on YouTube.
Well, and so like you said,
the speculation is running.
Well, this
rampant.
is why yesterday when this thing had happened, you said you want to cover it, and I said no, because we don't ever want to put misinformation out into the public at large. And so my thing continues to be, you would think in a murder done in broad daylight in a major metropolitan city that information is going to flow out relatively quickly with and just wait on that, because obviously everybody started to speculate. Is this some guy who had a beef over his insurance claims getting denied? Is it this guy, did he owe money to people? Is it the way he was running the company? Is it the actions of the company? That's all going to start to come out pretty soon. And so just hold off on that until we know all the facts.
One thing that surprised me was the lack of empathy from a lot of people. This guy was assassinated in broad daylight, and most people are not feeling very sad over it. The comments have all been very ugly.
Well, look, he ran an insurance company, right? And as anybody who's ever dealt with your insurance company knows, you usually don't feel like when it comes to dealing with your insurance company,
they're looking out for you.
Right, or that you're getting a good bargain, which is amazing, Casey, because I was told Obamacare was going to fix all that. I was told that if you liked your plan, you could keep it, and your insurance was going to go up one dime, and it appears that has not happened. But the reality is, when you're dealing with the head of a major insurance company, the prime suspect list is thousands of people long, right?
Yeah. Another thing that has surprised me about this is that he did not have any security around him. He just seemed to be walking by himself.
Well, I mean, he probably could afford it, but would you have known? I mean, if I had told you, it said, name the head of this insurance company.
Yeah. No,
of course not.
Would have had no idea.
No. Yeah. Nobody, these are just, very wealthy people who you wouldn't know them if they walked in front of you at an Arby's. And probably didn't think about it. Guy probably gets these letters all the time, and just
Well, his wife did say that he was receiving death threats.
Yeah,
So they were aware of threats.
But that's got to be.
Executives probably are in that position often.
That's right. I'm not trying to normalize it. I'm not trying to say that's okay or that people should be doing that. I'm just saying that it becomes relatively old hat probably when it comes to dealing with if you're in that sort of position.
Okay, Mike Braun has announced a few positions, and we're going to talk about that coming up from 93 WIBC.
God led me here to the Salvation Army.
It's a tradition of giving. For 30 years, WIBC has partnered with the Salvation Army to do the most good with your generous donations, staying in central Indiana, helping Hoosiers.
Thank you, Lord, for the peace.
The tradition continues next Friday and Saturday, the 30th anniversary WIBC Radiothon for the Salvation Army, presented by Financial Center.
Your donation is so important.
The deals and specials are sizzling hot. It's the Central Indiana Gun and Knife Show this Saturday and Sunday at the Tippecanoe County Fairgrounds in Lafayette. The best dealers in the region will be at the Central Indiana Gun and Knife Show. Just $6 for adults. Kids 12 and under get in free. Must be 18 or accompanied by an adult. Buy, sell, trade. This Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Sunday, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Tippecanoe County Fairgrounds in Lafayette. For more info, visit centralindianagunshows.com.
Hey, this is Spencer Thompson at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus. The year-end clearance event is now through Monday. Save 50% off all in-stock and special order Lazy Boy and Smith Brothers with extra discounts for cash and 12 months interest-free financing. That's every sofa, recliner, sectional, plus get a free large Big Green Egg with select Tempur-Pedic and Stearns & Foster mattresses. Hurry, sale ends Monday only at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus with free delivery.
Hi, this is Denny Smith for LD Smith Plumbing, and many times the holidays are when sewer stoppages must be dealt with, and the best of the best for that job is LD Smith Plumbing. They have the perfect equipment and the right people to clean your drains or help you replace them if they're uncleanable because they're broken down. Best of all, they'll fix your sewer drains with modern piping that will last for decades to come. They clean up the dirty and stinky jobs with plumbing solutions that work. Find them online at ldsmithplumbing.com. That's ldsmithplumbing.com.
You think the Bible's boring? It's hard to understand? This is Pastor Nathan from Life Church. We explain the Bible book by book, chapter by chapter, and verse by verse. We know God's Word breathes life into people Sunday after Sunday. And when we finish a book, not only will you understand it, but we believe that it'll change you. We just started the book of John, and it reveals who God is. If you're just curious or you've walked with the Lord for a long time, we'd love to have you come. Check out lifechurchin.com for service times and locations.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
So this new dose is, well, nope, that's not it. The price is nowhere to be found.
Mr. Green? Hi, it's all good. We've got this.
This is not just help from a Walgreens pharmacist.
Oh, new prescriptions. Cool. Let me check to see if these are the lowest cost options covered by your Medicare plan.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
This is someone supporting you every step of the way. Chat with a pharmacist today to find help saving. This is the human kind of help. Walgreens.
Hi, this is Denny Smith, and this holiday season, you gotta visit Miss Mary's gift shop at Sundown Gardens for great holiday gifts and decor. Now's a great time to stock up on all things holiday, and the greenhouse still has all your live greenery needs. Come shop for fresh-cut trees, wreaths, garland, and porch pots. Sundown Gardens wants to wish everyone a happy holiday season. Sundown Gardens, located at 186th Street and Spring Mill Road in Westfield, sundown.gardens.com. That's sundown.gardens.com.
Discover Barkeep Vodka, the cleanest and smoothest vodka thanks to its unique compression filtering by indie-based True Essence.
Top shelf quality and value, and you're supporting local Indiana farms. Grab a bottle at any Indiana store or visit barkeepvodka.com.
V's offering our Black Friday extended sale. 52% off, 10% manufacturer rebates, and 18 months, no interest, no payments.
Hey, so we needed to correct something on that. Well, of course, we opened the show talking about the tragic murder of the healthcare executive shot in broad daylight. And one of the things that we talked about is the information is changing and as it comes out. And initially, they had reported that it was a city bike, but now the clarification had come out that it was not indeed. It was an e-bike, but it was initially thought to be
a city bike, right? But now they're saying New York Police Department said it was an e-bike.
Right. So we wanted to clarify that for everybody. So, you know, obviously, I'm sure people will be attempting to track that, but even into last evening, they had thought that was going to be a possibility, but turns out now it's not. So that will not be a way that they're going to probably be able to track the suspect.
So Governor-elect Mike Braun is announcing a lot of different positions, and yesterday he announced that Indiana's next Secretary of Transportation and Infrastructure is somebody who brings 47 years of real-world experience, he said. He started as an equipment operator and then worked his way up to senior leadership roles.
How did you describe it? What was it?
Somebody who brings 47 years of real-world experience.
Okay, so you know this, and they're never like, he just started last year.
Right. This guy does not know what he's doing, but we're going to put him in this position. He has also named somebody as Indiana's next Secretary of Management and Budget. So we're going to start seeing more of these announcements come out. Rob, do you know, and it may change from administration to administration, how many appointments does the governor make?
It's a lot, right?
Yeah.
It's his administration. And one of the things, and we talked about this a little bit with Trump, but it's also true on a state level. One of the most important things a governor will do, and a president obviously, is who he puts to run. They're called agencies at a state level, because that's where the doing actually gets done. And one of the reasons the state has been so inefficiently and ineffectively run under Eric Holcomb is, and you've seen repeated disasters that have come out about mismanagement, et cetera, is because Eric Holcomb has been a very hands-off governor. Eric Holcomb has been interested in the idea of being governor. He likes the foreign trips. Clearly, he loves to do that. He loves ribbon cuttings. He loves bright, shiny objects. But the actual job of being governor and being a good governor is the nuts and bolts minutia. The reason Mitch Daniels was so effective is he was into that. That's what he did. He was called the Blade for George W., the early days of the Bush administration. He was interested in how do things work? What are the mechanisms? How are these things assembled? And then he put people in positions to deassemble the things that were not put together properly and start putting them back together. Mike Pence wasn't interested in that at all, and Eric Holcomb wasn't interested in that at all. And that's why you've seen state government, despite record revenues, largely go off the rails, no pun intended, because you don't have governors who are interested in putting people in positions who will find inefficiencies, find ineffectiveness, and I think Mike Braun is going to do that. And when when you're talking a 44 or 45 or 46 or whatever the budget ultimately comes in, $1 billion budget over multiple years, if you can find $2 to $3 billion in just things not being run properly, that's 5 to 10% of your budget, and that's a lot of money that can go to offset other things like property tax reform potentially.
He said, and this is in regards to the Secretary of Management and Budget, that Lisa Hirschman, her leadership will ensure Indiana runs efficiently, every taxpayer dollar is spent wisely, and our state remains a model of fiscal responsibility. And that has been one of his mantras, is efficiency in government. So does that mean some positions that were with the Holcomb administration may not be there with the Braun administration?
Well, we'll see. I mean, obviously, they have already come out with a new restructuring of how the government is going to work. And look, don't kid yourself. I mean, the state government, and I'm not trying to in any way indict people who work for the state. There's a lot of very fine, hardworking people. It is a mess. It is a complete mess. Eric Holcomb has no business running anything. And it's easy to get focused on the big picture stuff that we disagree on Holcomb with, the tax increases, the growth of government, obviously we go back to COVID, the mask mandates, meeting with a domestic terrorist like Malik Mohammed, all these things. But on a different, in terms of a day-to-day opera, I cannot begin in the time we have in this segment to tell you how inefficient and ineffective this guy was at running actual government. And Mike Braun has run a very large business for a very long time. He knows how to put people in positions to find inefficiencies and ineffectiveness. And so I think you're going to see, and it may take a couple years, but over a couple year period, a dramatic streamlining of how state government runs. Is it still going to be bloated? Of course. Is it still going to be by the private sector standard inefficient? Of course. But I think you're going to see a much better run state government under Mike Braun.
So Todd Young came out and announced something yesterday. And believe it or not, this is to be at no additional cost to taxpayers.
Oh.
He has a bill that directs the Treasury to mint coins to commemorate the 26 World Cup. And it passed the Senate. He said the coins are going to be minted at no additional cost to taxpayers, and the proceeds are going to benefit the U.S.-based soccer programs.
So this is what he's doing with his time.
This is it. So every couple of years, they get to mint new coins for some event that's going on within the country. And Todd Young, helps him with some of his buddies, they decided to choose the 26 FIFA World Cup.
So we're $35 trillion in debt. We've got the Middle East on fire. We've got $200 billion plus that has just disappeared in the Ukraine. The border, there's 15 million people have illegally entered. 15 million people have illegally entered the country. And Todd Young, the best use of his time
is to authorize these commemorative coins.
Gee, Casey, it's hard to believe that the country isn't running in a better fashion.
So these coins, it's called the FIFA World Cup 26 Commemorative Coin Act, of course, and it authorizes the production of $5 gold coins, $1 silver coins, and also
$5 gold? Well, can I have change for my $5 gold coin?
Also a $50 coin.
Do I take this
commemorates the event?
When I go to McDonald's to get that $5 meal deal, which is
Can you pay
$5.45
for
with
it with
applicable
your
taxes?
with your coin?
Can I give her a $5 gold coin, a quarter, and 2 dimes? Will they? I didn't even know we had a $5 gold coin. Who's using a $5? Have you ever seen anyone ever use a $5 gold coin?
No, never.
What are we doing?
Congress gets to authorize 2 commemorative coins a year.
And that's at the top of their list. With people like the Duke of Spendingburg, every year that's at the top. It's not solving the border crisis. It's not getting federal spending under control. The top of the priority list is, oh my gosh, what coin can we mint this year? Oh, soccer's coming. Yay, World Cup.
Are you surprised, though, that it's coming from Todd Young and it won't cost the taxpayers any money?
Not in the least.
It is Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Hi, this is Denny Smith, and with the holidays so close, why not have Zero Res clean your carpets now before family and friends come over? I asked my wife why women don't want to get their carpets cleaned. She said they absolutely do want to get their carpets cleaned, but they just don't want to have to move furniture, worry about people they don't know coming into the house, worry about the chemicals people are using, and waiting around for things to dry. I get it, but that's not Zero Res, and with their Gotta Love It guarantee, they're going to make sure it's a great experience that you'll never, ever regret. There is nobody better at cleaning than Zero Res. Right now, get 3 rooms Zero Resified starting at just $129 and $75 off air duct cleaning too. That's a $40 savings on carpet cleaning. The Zero Res service is easy to line up, and you can go online at zeroresindy.com to do the scheduling at your convenience. Just call them and mention WIBC. It's Zero Res. Call 317-388-5141 or book things online at zeroresindy.com. That's zeroresindy.com.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Maybe some clues about the shooter. Radar is clear. It is sunny and 14 degrees downtown. I'm Kirk Darling. Here's what's trending at 9:30. Still trying to find the person who shot the CEO of United Healthcare.
The shooter may have left a message on evidence found at the scene where 50-year-old Brian Thompson was gunned down yesterday morning outside a New York City hotel. After the assassination, the gunman escaped through an alleyway before hopping on an e-bike and disappearing into Central Park. And now we are learning some clues as to a possible motive: deny, depose, and defend, written on live rounds and shell casings left behind by the masked assassin.
Fox's Chanley Painter. Legal experts believe that the Supreme Court is likely to uphold a Tennessee law banning gender-affirming care for minors. The High Court heard arguments yesterday on Tennessee's ban on the treatment for minors in the state. They say that the conservative majority appears ready to let the law remain in place and leave future debates up to state legislatures. Your opening bell report on 93 WIBC, brought to you by Absolute Wealth Management, LLC. We are off to start the day. The Dow is off 30 points to 45,076. The NASDAQ is down 10.5 to 21,526. And the S&P 500 is off 1.5 to 6,097. I'm Kirk Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet, so make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818. 800-215-6818. That's 800-215-6818.
Trusted steel power in the palm of your hand. This holiday season, save $30 on the GTA 26 handheld garden pruner. Now just $149.99. Check off a gift from the top of their wish list and make trimming tree limbs a breeze with a lightweight design and 4-inch cutting bar. Visit your local steel dealer today or shop online at steelusa.com. Was $179.99 MSRP. Includes battery and charger. Offer valid for a limited time only at participating dealers while supplies last.
Mortgage rates are down and creating more active buyers and sellers. If you've been waiting, now is a great time to sell your home before more homes flood the market, driving down prices. Maximize your home sale now with the market expert who delivers maximum money in less time, Mark Dietl. Perhaps you're worried you won't sell your home for the price you need. Mark Dietl guarantees your home sold at a mutually agreed upon price and deadline, or he will buy it.
Listen to what Mark from Danville had to say about working with Mark Dietel. I finished building my new perfect home out of state and needed out of my old place quickly. Plus, to cover the cost of the new home, I needed a big price. The Mark Dietel team was my answer. My home sold in 3 days on the market over my asking price. Call the local Indianapolis agent I trust and recommend, and the agent who guarantees your home sold or he'll buy it. Call Mark Dietel, 317-755-4232 for all the details, or go online to markdietel.com. It's Mark, Dietel.com. Tell him Rob sent you.
Hi, I'm Scott Wilson, third generation owner of Wilson Farm Market, just 15 minutes north of 465 on 31. If you are looking for your source of homegrown, locally made, know where your food's coming from, we are your spot. We have hand-dipped ice cream, 130 different kinds of cheese. We fry chicken, just a little bit of everything, a foodie's heaven. Wilson Farm Market, where good taste runs in the family. Just 15 minutes north of 465, right on US 31.
Greetings from R&R Agency, your Indiana health insurance pros. And a thank you to our loyal customers for making our agency a national sales leader for the 7th straight year. We recently saved a family of 4 over $500 monthly when compared to their ACA plan. You know it's still Obamacare, right? We've recently saved a 61-year-old retiring couple over $600 when compared to their COBRA plan. Breaking news. We are now able to offer health insurance to employer groups of all sizes with 2 of the largest insurers in the Midwest. We'll be here when you need us. Quoting my favorite president, what the heck do you have to lose? We can help. As always, God bless America, or at least what's left of her.
Call Ron or Terry at 317-563-0868. That's 317-563-0868. Or go to rragency.org. That's rragency.org. A health plan managed and chosen by you, not the government.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
This is interesting. It's being reported by USA Today and also CBS News that Donald Trump considering selecting Ron DeSantis as his pick for defense secretary, this to replace Pete Hegseth.
That'd be a horrible idea if you're Ron DeSantis.
You think so?
Why would you do that?
Well, CBS News is saying that DeSantis is interested.
No way. What? Why? Okay, so he's the current governor of Florida. He's arguably, I think you could say, relatively safe, the most popular governor in America. Now, his presidential campaign did not go well. He didn't run a very good campaign, and obviously, I don't think it would have mattered with Trump being, in the race. But you're still continuing to run your state well. In 2 years, you control the Senate appointment for Marco Rubio's seat. So you literally could just pick a placeholder if you wanted. Mm-hmm. They don't even have to pick some star or whatever. If you want that seat, you pick some guy with the understanding, hey, I'm going to serve out the term, and then it'll be open, and I get that seat. It's going to be an open Republican presidential nomination, and you'll be one of the front runners, along with Vance, probably, depending on how the Trump term goes. Why would you give all of that up to be subservient to Donald Trump, who changes his mind on people as often as he changes his underwear, and put yourself subservient to the whims of Donald Trump?
Not to mention that they've had somewhat of a contentious relationship. It's on and off and on and off.
Yeah, why would you do that? I mean, that doesn't make any – I cannot imagine he would give up controlling his own destiny and being such a well-thought-of, powerful governor with a U.S. Senate seat and a presidential – nomination potentially in your future over the next couple of years to go work for Donald Trump.
I think that there's also, they got to go the distance on something, right? Because the same fate was happening to Matt Gaetz, and then he dropped out. And so now if they surrender with Pete Hegseth, then what's next? RFK Jr.? And then somebody after that, and then suddenly Donald Trump is getting none of his picks.
Well, and this is the real challenge that Trump is going to have when you've got a relatively, by Senate standards, it's large based on what we've had the past couple of years, that 51-49 type of deal. But you can only lose 3. And with
Goober and Gomer over there, Murkowski and Collins, who, by the way, they'll vote for all these Democrats. These Democrats, Mayorkas, any of those people, they're on board with a lot of these Democrats. The Lloyd Austin guy who went missing. I mean, keep in mind, they're okay. People like Murkowski and Collins, and this is the problem with the Republican Party. People like Murkowski and Collins are okay with someone like Lloyd Austin, who went missing.
Right.
He just disappeared.
When he was in the hospital and didn't tell his boss.
Very serious surgery and didn't tell anybody. Nobody knew where he was. That's okay. But hey, some guy who was accused of something, which, by the way, has been refuted by multiple people who worked with him. I've seen many people at Fox News going, I never saw the guy drink. And, he was always professional. He was always ready to go. He was a delight to work with. But they'd rather listen to rumor and innuendo from an unsubstantiated, which, by the way, is they were relying on that email from his mom. His mom has now come out and refuted the email, basically saying, I had a bad day or whatever. So you got nothing on this guy, but nothing is enough to derail him. But these Democrats, when they get appointed, well, no matter how incompetent or awful they are at the job, step right up.
Come on in.
Yeah.
Okay, so Senator John Cornyn, he's refused to support Pete Hegseth yet. Who knows what he'll end up doing. Reporters asked him how he feels about him. Listen to this.
Did you discuss Pete Hegseth with Bondi?
Pardon me?
Did you discuss Pete Hegseth with Bondi?
No. Are you comfortable that he is the right man for the job, Hegseth? I'm going to let the process work itself out. I've known Pete for a number of years, and I haven't had a chance to talk to him since he was nominated, but we'll let the process work itself out.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so real quick, let's make something abundantly clear to our audience about what this is about. This isn't about whether Pete Hegseth had a drinking problem or was a womanizer, because if we want to start taking a survey of how many of these senators either have a drinking problem or are womanizers or have been womanizers or had drinking problems, I think you're going to find many, many, many of them would be throwing rocks from a glass house, right? This is about they don't want outsiders. Look at the people they're targeting as, this person is, who's the one that's going to breeze through? Rubio. Why? Because Rubio's one of them. Who are the ones that, I don't know, this is going to be a heavy lift? It's Tulsi Gabbard. It's RFK Jr. It's Hegseth. All of these, the Congress people, all those, they're fine. Nothing controversial about these people. Now, Gates was, because he was also a rebel rouser. It's about not wanting people in there that they can't control, about people who will upset the system, about people who aren't human robots, who they can predict what they're going to do and control what they're going to do. And that's the people that they're objecting to.
Upsetting the apple cart. So it's interesting that Cornyn said he's known Hegseth for a number of years, but he still wants to talk to him one more time. Why? You said right there, I've known him for a number of years. And now all of a sudden you're throwing red flags?
Absolutely. And it's about, you'd go on their shows and you'd use them when it was convenient for you. But it's like Rodney Dangerfield and Caddyshack, right? The moment the outsider wants to join the club, well, these senators are the Judge Smales people, right? And if these nominees fail, it's going to be a major blow to Donald Trump. Is Pete Hegseth the best person to run this agency, run this department? Don't know. He could be good. He could be bad. What we have right now is a guy who disappeared. So we can really only go up from where we're at. And the bigger thing here is Donald Trump won the election. Donald Trump won in a landslide in terms of the Electoral College. The people overwhelmingly voted to get rid of business as usual and let Donald Trump try his hand at reshaping government in America. And the first and most important part of this is letting him pick his people to run these agencies. And unless somebody's been convicted of some sort of crime against humanity, Donald Trump should have the right to do that.
So John Fetterman was asked about the possibility of DeSantis, and he said that Fetterman would consider confirming DeSantis if he admitted to the use of lifts in his shoes.
I'm considering voting yes on DeSantis if he finally admits that he has lifts in his boots. I'm sure he does. I think maybe 3 inches, 4 inches at least. Yeah.
And if I were DeSantis, I'd say,
Hey, I'll tell you about my lips when you tell me about that giant thing that was growing out of the back of your neck. Oh, and why you disappeared for a long period of time when you went to get a mental health evaluation. And why don't you tell us about what went on in there?
So Donald Trump apparently told Pete Hegseth to keep going, to keep fighting. He did a quick press conference yesterday where he said that Donald Trump asked him to just bring the warfighting ethos back to the Pentagon. He said, your job is to make sure lethality, anything else distracts. And when Pete Hegseth was on the Megyn Kelly show, he said that he wakes up every morning and he thinks to himself, if Donald Trump can fight the way that he's fought, then we can do it ourselves.
Well, and look at who the guy is, right? Let's look at his resume. He's an Ivy League educated. In fact, he played college basketball at the Ivy League. He was a decorated military veteran. He has been very successful in his private sector endeavors outside of his decorated military career, including hosting a television show that the people around him who we work with are refuting the allegations that have been made that have yet to be substantiated. And yet these senators are basically forcing this Hegseth guy to go through their version of American Gladiators. Why? Because he's not one of them.
You're listening to Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel Show, 3:06 this afternoon. We got a fun Thursday for you. Doug Bowles of the Motor Speedway will join us in studio. We got Rob Kendall going off the rails. Join us, 93 WIBC.
Hey guys, it's Rob, and it's hard to believe we're just a few weeks away from Christmas. And this Christmas, when you're thinking of your list of who do I have to give gifts to, why not give the gift to yourself of getting your confidence back by calling We Grow Hair Indie. If you're looking in the mirror and feeling a little light on top, We Grow Hair Indie might be just the thing that you need. Now, here's what you do. This could not be more simple. You call today, 317-522-2995. 317-522-2995. Schedule your totally free, no hassle, no obligation consultation. And when you do that, Darren and the gang going to take a look at what you got going on the top of your head, and they're going to give you some recommendations on how you might be able to get your confidence back. Then it's up to you. It's really that simple. And in the meantime, if you'd like to see how some other people have gotten their confidence back at We Grow Hair Indie, head over to the website, WeGrowHairIndie.com, WeGrowHairIndie.com. Call today, 317-522-2995. Tell them Rob sent you.
Great holiday savings all month at Tom Roush Lincoln. And during the Lincoln Wish List sales event, select 2024 Lincoln Navigators now $12,000 off and get 0% for 60 months. And all these great deals include the Lincoln Conquest Trade Assist. And don't you forget, all Lincolns come with complimentary pickup and delivery service. So get some of those holiday savings right now at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers.
Navigator MSRP 105,845. Subject credit approval. See dealer for complete offer details.
An official message from Medicare.
Couple more minutes and we'll start this month's book club.
You know, I usually love a plot twist, but this year I'm comparing my options during Medicare open enrollment.
You can't assume your current health or drug plan is the best one for you.
And you gotta make sure your drugs are covered. That's important.
So is saving money.
Review all your options at Medicare.gov. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
There's a price war in the insurance business, and you may be paying too much. Call the Term Lifeline right now and see if you can save 40%. $500,000 plans and up, that's our specialty. Even great smokers' rates. Protect your family today. Call the Term Lifeline right now for a free quote. 866-549-TERM, 866-549-TERM, 866-549-TERM.
It's a bully that will not let up until you do something about it. And the worst part is that the bullying happens when you're at your most vulnerable. You might as well have your hands tied behind your back while that bully puts one hand over your mouth and pinches your nose with the other. He'll let up, let you catch your breath, and then he'll do it again. Sleep apnea is a bully. Not long ago, we heard our friend John tell you about how his bully was stopping his breathing in his sleep over 145 times an hour. Think about what that can do to your body's organs. It's no wonder that the snowball effects of long-term obstructive sleep apnea are heart disease, stroke, even depression and anxiety. But this problem is solvable, and we have solutions, and you'll be surprised at how simple they are.
To date, Advent has solved over 40,000 breathing triangle problems. It's time to put that bully in his place. Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows. When you breathe well, you live better. Results may vary.
It's the Degenerates Next Door, a sports betting podcast for dudes.
Real dudes, not the fake Kardashian-looking like dudes you see on television doing this. The Degenerates Next Door. Download and subscribe today anywhere you get your podcast.
There must be lights burning brighter.
My biggest day of listening to music this past year was October 27th. I don't know what was happening that day, but because of Spotify Unwrapped, or Wrapped rather, they let me know exactly how much music I listened to over the past year. Not a whole lot. Only 2,222 minutes.
That's okay. So Spotify is a music service, or well, it's an audio
streaming service.
right? Yeah. So where you can listen to everything from you said music to Joe Rogan is on there, podcasts, and you pay a fee each month, right, in order for the privilege of being able to access their content.
Yeah, and at the end of the year, they release their Spotify Wrapped, and they tell you how much you listen to, what you listen to, your favorite artist of the year, your favorite songs, or your favorite podcasts. So my top artist of this past year was Fleetwood Mac. And then my top song.
Is that normal? Is that normal for you?
Yeah, I think I was in a 70s
are
genre
you some sort
year.
of
Classic
Fleetwood
rock.
Mac super fan?
I wouldn't say I'm a super fan, but clearly, according to Spotify, I listen to them the most.
Right.
And Elvis, If I Can Dream, was my number one song.
Would you have, if they'd have said what song, Casey Daniels, did you listen to the most this year? Would you have said Elvis, If I Can Dream?
No, I would. I would have thought it was Luke Combs or something like that.
You don't know yourself at all, then, do you?
I wouldn't have guessed that. But
you didn't know what artist you listened to the most. You didn't know what song you listened to the most.
I didn't know. I had a lot of classic rock music: Fleetwood Mac, Eric Clapton, also the Rolling Stones on my list this year. But they also came out. They released their top 15 podcasts of the year, and also video podcasts. They say the video podcast genre has grown by 50% in the past year. I did not even know that was a thing, Rob, that you could video podcast on Spotify.
Well, isn't it just you doing your podcast and people watching you? People are watching you do the podcast?
Right, that's it. It's like the YouTube version on Spotify.
So you don't even know the product you're paying all this money for, that you have access to this thing.
Clearly, I don't know what's going on there.
Kev, you have this service?
Yeah, and I did my Wrapped as well.
And?
Well, my top artist happened to be Uno Gold.
That is your band.
Yeah, I'm basically my number one fan.
If you don't love yourself, no one else is going to love you back, Kev.
Exactly. And my number one listened to podcast was WTF podcast with Mark Maron.
What is that?
He's a comedian, but he interviews a lot of musicians. Actually, I think you would like him.
Now, you and I were having a conversation with some people yesterday about this, and we were did you know we're number one in the ratings?
Yes. Congratulations.
Rating number one, not only our show, but our radio station. And one of the things that WIBC, and we talked about this before, continues to do is we've sort of cracked the code in many ways of what's going on in the business, in the sense of we remain wildly popular. If you look at like the time spent listening, our audience basically engages with us the way normal people engage with podcasts, which is it's long form listening. It's there's two, and I'm insider baseball here, but two ways when they factor ratings. Casey has been in management. She can correct me if I'm wrong on this. It's the number of people who listen to your radio station, and it's the time they listen to the radio station.
Yeah, so it's QM plus TSL.
Right. So one of the reasons WIBC is number one, we may not have technically as many listeners as, say, the music stations in the city, which makes sense. You wouldn't think we would, because some people aren't into politics. They don't like our politics, whatever. But our time spent listening, there are program directors who would give every extremity on their body to have the time spent listening that we do, because our audience engages with us the way many people engage with podcasts, which is they leave it on all day. They listen to, in some cases, all of the shows, and that's a credit to you and how you, the listener, how engaged you are. But one of the things we were talking about is how other radio stations are really beginning to have trouble across the fruited plain. It's not just in America, or I'm not just in Indiana, but across America, because they don't have that level of engagement like we're starting to see via these podcasts, et cetera.
Right. Well, you've got Cume, which is just how many people can you get through the door?
Right.
And then the time spent listening is how long do they stay in the store shopping?
Right.
Right. And you can win the ratings battle by getting a bunch of people through the door, which is typically like what a top 40 or adult hit station will do. You stay for 2 or 3 songs, and then one comes on you don't like, you flip the channel. Or you can win it with time spent listening. You get enough people through the door, but they stay for a long time.
And again, one of the things we do on this show that's kind of fun is we kind of pull back the curtain sometimes. We are advertiser catnip, because if you're an advertiser, you want to make sure your message is getting heard, and you want to make sure your audience is engaging with your product. And so because our audience
will stay through the commercials.
They stay through the commercials. They listen to the commercials. They use the products in the commercial because they trust us. We do very, very, very well, certainly compared to other radio stations, because of the loyalty and the time spent listening. And it's one of the things I think you're starting to see as many advertisers are moving to podcasting, because you get that long time spent listening. Especially if you, as many podcasts do, it's just, hey, it's the guy doing the podcast reading the announcement or whatever. You have to hear the announcement inside the show. And you're starting to see a shift in how media is done, how media is presented. And unless you're just a very fabulous with an amazing, incredibly engaged audience like us, radio's really got to get it together quick. I mean, seriously, right? I mean, we're just being honest here. Outside of a select few stations in the city with unique characteristics and audiences like ours, radio's got to reform itself. And I don't know what, I'm not even saying, oh, it's got to do this, this, and this. Radio's really got to get it together.
Well, one of the benefits of radio is that it's free, which is great. You don't have to spend money like you do on the Spotify. But it used to be one of the only places, if you were listening to music radio, that was the only place you were going to get it.
Right.
Now it's available everywhere. So that's not a unique product anymore, unlike what is going on at WIBC. It's a unique product, not only to Indianapolis, but to Indiana.
You know what is unique?
What's that?
I have a list of demands, Casey.
Oh,
I have
boy,
some demands.
Here we go.
I have some demands of the Indiana Republican Party, and next hour we're going to give them to you.
Okay, it's Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
Deep in my heart, there's a trembling.
What does the joy of Christmas mean to you? A gift? Time with family? Decorations and traditions? At Shepherd Community, the joy of Christmas is learning to read, feeling safe and loved, finding a stable job, and having a community that cares. Shepherd gives its neighbors gifts of joy and hope for a brighter future. You can give the joy of Christmas to neighbors living in poverty, not just at the holidays, but all year long. Visit caringatchristmas.org/give. That's caringatchristmas.org/give.
My husband Bob has Parkinson's and he needs more help now, and I need more support to help him. Thanks to Indiana Pathways for Aging, we're getting the support we need to help him right here at home, like with meal prep and basic personal care and even respite support for me.
Pathways provides Hoosier Medicaid members, age 60 and over, support for care their way, so they can live life their way. To learn more, eligible members call 87-PATHWAY-4 or visit in.gov/pathways.
Your love isn't confined to an Advent calendar. It doesn't stop when the Christmas lights come down. With the Salvation Army, your love lasts all year long. It puts a Christmas present under someone's tree today and a roof over someone's head tomorrow. It brightens Christmas morning and the hardest nights for hardworking families. Together, we love beyond Christmas. Give $25 a month to support local families all year long at sacentralindiana.org.
Breathe in the wonder and joy of Christmas, where the extraordinary often shines through the ordinary moments, through kindness, care, and compassion. At Franciscan Health, we provide care rooted in faith, love, and dignity, and believe life is a gift and every moment is extraordinary. So take a breath and give thanks as we celebrate the birth of our Savior, Jesus Christ. Merry Christmas. Franciscan Health. Love your extraordinary life.
Downtown Indy, dressed in holiday style and glowing with bright lights and festive sights all season long. Gather with friends on Monument Circle to enjoy stunning holiday lighting and audio-visual presentations every night of the week. Create new memories while dining at award-winning restaurants just steps from your favorite attractions, sporting events, and performances. Come winter wander in downtown Indy. Come for an event, stay for a holiday experience. Visit IndyWonderland.com for all the details, including curated downtown holiday itineraries. That's IndyWonderland.com.
You've got a Pepto predicament, moviegoer.
Hey, I can hear your stomach grumbling.
Sorry, I ate that entire tub of popcorn with extra butter.
You overdid it, and now your movie has turned into a blockbuster bellyache. Undo it with Pepto.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Pepto Chewables provide fast 5-symptom relief, so you can focus on the action on the big screen instead of in your stomach. When you overdo it, undo it with Pepto. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Hard to believe that Christmas is only a couple of weeks away, right? But there's still plenty of time to find incredible gift deals because Macy's Friends and Family Sale is happening now. What does that mean? It means when you use your coupon or Macy's card, you can take an extra 30% off, just like Friends and Family can. That's 30% off the best holiday gifts, 30% off the best designer brands, 30% off what's trending right now. It's just this week, it's just what you were looking for, and it's only at Macy's. Savings off regular and already reduced prices. Exclusions apply.
Celebrate the holidays with your Indiana Pacers this Sunday when the Pacers take on the Hornets.
And here's Halliburton with a 3 to start the game.
It's the Pacers holiday game featuring family fun concourse activities, including reindeer and a special visit from Santa Claus.
Out to Walker. He's hit a couple of threes. Out it again!
Join in on the festivities and bring some holiday cheer for the blue and gold this Sunday. Get your tickets at Pacers.com. Pacers Hornets, Sunday at 5.
Coming up in 2 minutes, it's really cold out there, but it won't be like that for very long. Plus, the details behind why an Indy police officer shot and killed a man on Wednesday, and Bloomington city leaders want how much of a pay raise? I'm Kirk Darling. That and more coming up from the Technology Recycler Studios after Fox News Radio. You're listening to 93 WYBC, WYBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 10 o'clock.
He wants to restore public trust in Secret Service. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what Acting Director Ronald Rowe just told a House hearing.
July 13th was a failure of the Secret Service to adequately secure the Butler Farm Show site and protect President-elect Trump.
Referencing the assassination attempt in Pennsylvania that left Trump bloody after a bullet grazed his right ear. Rowe says he's focused on making sure the security failures in the shooting that also left a Trump rally attendee dead never happen again. The chairman of the House task force probing both assassination attempts, Republican Mike Kelly, says their investigation found
planning areas by Secret Service not only created confusion among local law enforcement partners, but also among the Secret Service agents working at the rally.
Also at the Capitol today, Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, the business leaders President-elect Trump has put in charge of DOGE, a new agency to make government more efficient.
You know, we've got this $36 trillion national debt. Musk and Ramaswamy will come here to Capitol Hill to lay out their plan to cut government waste today. They want to reduce the federal workforce by 75%, cut $2 trillion in federal spending, and close down entire agencies. One of them could be the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau.
Fox's Aisha Hasni. New York City police still searching for the masked gunman who murdered United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson. Police have him on surveillance video and potential DNA from his trash at a Starbucks, and they're also investigating
words that were etched, according to the New York Post, into some shell casings that were found here in Midtown Manhattan. What did the messages say? We're told it was deny, depose, and defend. What's the significance? Well, that's pretty similar to a title of a book back from 2010 that talks all about the insurance industry slamming some of their practices.
Fox's Alexis McAdams at the murder scene outside a Manhattan hotel. 2 kids, age 5 and 6, remain in critical condition the morning after being shot in a private religious school in Butte County, California. It's believed the gunman may have specifically targeted that school. He killed himself. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Brisk and breezy. Radar is clear. It's 14 degrees and sunny downtown. I'm Kirk Darling. Here's what's trending at 10:02. And don't expect much of a warm-up today.
Highs are only going to be in the low to mid-20s. Probably one of the coldest days of the season so far across central Indiana. And with it being a bit windy, too, throughout the day, wind chills will probably make it only feel like it's in the teens.
Cody Moore with the National Weather Service. Back in the 40s, though, by Sunday. A man shot by a police officer on the east side Wednesday afternoon. That man was attacking the officer with a machete, so says Chief Chris Bailey.
It should never be the end to whatever's occurring in your life or whatever's occurring in any kind of relationship, especially deadly violence like this. We're lucky we didn't have a couple of our neighbors killed as a result of this person's action.
It was the result of a call about a disturbance near 465 in Brookville Road. The prosecution has rested its case against two IMPD officers accused in the death of Herman Whitfield III. Officer Steven Sanchez and Adam Ahmad are accused of manslaughter and battery. Sanchez took the stand in his own defense on Wednesday, saying that he did not hear Whitfield say that he couldn't breathe while handcuffed. Some city councilors in Bloomington want a pay raise. Ryan Hedrick explains.
A 115% pay raise, to be exact. And as you can imagine, there's some pushback. A salary committee is looking into this, not just for council members, but also for the clerk and the mayor. If approved, a council member's salary would jump from just over $21,000 a year to more than $45,000, making them the highest paid council members in the state. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
No cameras in the courtroom when Richard Allen will be sentenced in the Delphi murders case December 20th. That by order of Judge Fran Gull. The Indianapolis Colts have once again nominated Kenny Moore II for the Walter Payton Man of the Year Award. The honor is given to an active NFL player at the end of every season, recognizing their charity and philanthropy work off the field. I'm Kirk Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hi, this is Denny Smith, and the holidays are almost here. It's time to get ready for friends and family and your family's version of Uncle Eddie. And nobody's better at that than Zero-Res. Don't miss this deal. Get 3 rooms Zero-Resified starting at just $129 and $75 off air duct cleaning too. That's a $40 savings on carpet cleaning. The Zero-Res guys know how to get your carpets clean, and they can help you deal with the deeply embedded dirt, dander, and allergens, not to mention pet stains and some of your stains. The game changer is the patented ZR water that uses no soap, leaves no residue, and there are no harsh chemicals because they just aren't needed to get things really clean. That's why Zero-Res is my go-to carpet cleaning company, because I know that there's nobody better. I just love these folks. Just call them, mention WIBC, and get 3 rooms of carpet cleaning starting at $129, plus you get $75 off air duct cleaning too. Call 317-388-5141 or book things online at ZeroResIndy.com. That's ZeroResIndy.com.
This hour powered by BWindow.com, where their annual 52% off Black Friday has been extended.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Good morning. It is Thursday, December 5th. It's 5 minutes after 10. You're listening to Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. Well, the Hoosier Survey has been released. This is a survey that is conducted each year by the Bowen Center for Public Affairs at Ball State University. It's the center's nonpartisan public policy study. They say it represents the pulse of the state regarding the most pressing issues facing Hoosiers. And the survey has been cited in years past by not only the media, but by state legislators. And they say it expresses Hoosiers' evolving thoughts and hot-button topics, things that are important to Hoosiers. And they put this huge list together, and there's a lot of facts and figures and data. It has been embargoed up until this exact moment. So, Rob, would you like to discuss some of the questions that the Hoosier Survey was asking people?
Well, okay, so it's layers and layers of this, and for nerds like us, we can spend hours and hours looking at this, but I'll cut to the one that I think is probably most interesting, and it really refutes the argument of, so obviously the governor's signature issue this year is going to be property tax reform.
Yeah.
And we have heard from so many of these obviously the angry red-shirted teachers, and then you hear from these local government people. The battle line is going to be drawn. Can you, our loyal audience, can you overwhelm the local government people in terms of getting to the lawmakers at the State House to drive Braun's property tax reform across the finish line? And then we're gonna play a big role in that. And look, when I come, we may have it before I leave in 2 weeks, but when I come back first of next year, which will again be before the General Assembly starts, we will have the plan. I'm going to meet with Braun's people here in the near future, and they're going to lay that out on how we can best help them, and we will do everything that we can to get that fixed. So there's, again, just reams and reams of data in this thing. But what was most interesting to me, all of that being said, what we have heard is how, well, it's just a select group of people that are passionate about property taxes. It's just the shock jock 9 to noon got everybody all fired up about this, and Braun bought the shock jock sell job. Like, that's how the local government people try to pass this off. And the reality is, no, we've heard this for years. We have done, I mean, we were doing this years ago. We were doing this even before you got here about the how out of the control the bills we're getting. We have been passionate about this, one, because it's the right thing to do, but two, because that's where the people actually are. The real people, not the people who benefit off increasing the size and scope and cost of government. Real, regular people are getting crushed by the property tax increases. So what was interesting in this survey was they asked people, amongst many other things, to rate how important something was to you. And on the list, there's a bevy of things that you can relate, and defeating almost everything other than public safety and health care was reducing taxes in terms of people that said that is very important to me. And in terms of very important and moderately important, it was tied with education.
Yeah.
So there is not this overwhelming throng of support to not do this. In fact, there is, according to this survey, an overwhelming backing by the voting populace for major reform in how taxes are structured. And it's very clear, and Braun has said this many times, the tax he hears about the most is the property tax.
Yeah, the question was, Indiana will have a new governor beginning in 2025. Which of the following issues do you believe are important for the new administration to focus on to move Indiana forward? And you're correct, because the top two answers are regarding safety, and then healthcare, and then reducing taxes comes in at the top. And as I rank them in order, I believe the least concerning topic was better preparing students for college. But
isn't that interesting how far we've come on that? Because I went to high school at a time where they were jamming everyone into the 4-year degree, right? And that was a big staple of the Bush administration, and Clinton before him was, you got to go to college, you got to get a 4-year degree. I think we've effectively moved past that, hey, you do need to learn a skill set. You need to learn a trade. You need to have some sort of continuing education, but it certainly doesn't have to be a 4-year degree. And I think people have finally started to see through that.
On many instances, healthcare was one of the other top issues as well. But
real quick on this, so I just want to give you some of the other things that reducing taxes blows out of the water. It defeats workforce development. It blows abortion away. I mean, this is hilarious to see this survey and think that Jennifer McCormick and Destiny Wells hung their entire campaign around abortion, because people don't care.
Abortion is second from the bottom, it looks like.
Yeah, I mean, it's let's see, what else did it beat? It beat immigration. It easily beat immigration, economic development. Let's see, what else did it beat there? Family leave policy. It beat expanding school choice, affordable child care. All of these things, they did. What was interesting, they did local water rights and protections were in there as well, and it beat that. So, I mean, my point on all this, we go on forever with this, but it is clearly, if not number one, very close to being the number one issue in terms of very important or moderately important, this property tax reform stuff to the people of Indiana.
There's also, if you go down to the very last box, they say, think about state taxes you have to pay this year. Rate your perceptions of the fairness of state taxes you pay. And one of the top ones, very unfair property taxes.
Yeah, so let's roll. Okay, this is fascinating. So on property taxes, they give you the option of rating these as very unfair, not fair, fair, very fair. And so fair or very fair, there are a combined, I'm doing public school math here, 142, and that's 189. That's 189 people said your property taxes. Watch me do this. What was the old song? Watch me whip, watch me nay-nay. Now watch me do math on the fly.
Watch you calculate.
All right, so 180. Remember, your job is to remember the number 189. Are you ready?
Got it.
All right. 120 people said very unfair. 119 said unfair. 156 said not fair. That's so 309. What was the first number I gave you?
189.
So by over a 2-to-1 margin, the people of Indiana said there is a major issue. 2-to-1. 66%.
Yeah.
Ish.
Yeah.
Said
property taxes are unfair. Very unfair, as a matter of fact. One of the other questions that I did want to point out, which comes closer to your view about the use of marijuana by adults? And by 62%, the answer was it should be legal for recreational and medicinal use.
What was the number again?
62%.
So they said across the board. Did it ask just medicinal? No, or was it just collectively?
Well, it should be legal for recreational and medicinal use, 62%. It should be legal for medicinal use only, 25%.
Okay, so you put those two together, then 87% of the populace then believes
medicinal should be legal in Indiana.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
I mean, what are we waiting on?
What are we waiting
what
for?
else? I mean, if you're going to license a doctor to practice medicine in Indiana, they should be able to prescribe what they want to their patient. And it just blows my mind that we continue to drag our feet on this.
They do ask some political questions. Generally speaking, what is your political party affiliation? The top answer at 26% was independent. And then they ask, generally speaking, how would you view your own political beliefs? And at 41%, the rest were all split moderate.
Okay, here is, and this is another thing. Okay, so they asked the abortion question. This is fascinating to me. And remember what I told you when Jennifer McCormick was in here, that I said if I were her and I were asked the abortion question, I would have said one of two things. My answer would have been, my opinion on abortion doesn't matter. It's settled law in Indiana. I will deal with Republican majorities at the very least, likely super majorities. They're not addressing it. My opinion doesn't matter. It's a non-issue. I pledge to not touch abortion. She'd have won a ton of votes if she'd have said that. But I said, at the very least, if you want to delve into the abortion conversation, gosh darn it, Casey, it's 10:15 on a Thursday, and I have to do my least favorite part of the show. Where I tell everybody how right I was. And this survey definitely backs this up. The public at large believes 15 weeks is now really where you start to lose people in terms of abortion. Anything after 15 weeks, because you have proved that fetuses can feel pain, they can hear music, all of these sort of things. I mean, I don't even know how people justify any of it, but in their minds, they've justified, I guess, at 15 weeks, which is what the Dobbs decision was all about when they overturned Roe versus Wade, was a Mississippi law that would have restricted abortion to 15 weeks based on a fetus's ability to feel pain, et cetera. And so I had said the majority of Americans now are at 15 weeks. I'm not at 15 weeks, but the majority of Americans are now at 15 weeks. And if I were Jennifer McCormick and I wanted to, if I was absolutely to say that I'm going to have an opinion on abortion, I would have said I am where the majority of Americans are at. Again, I'm not touching this issue because it's not going to be overturned in Indiana, but I believe abortion should be legal up to 15 weeks. In this survey, they asked about abortion, about the legality or illegality of abortion. And when they asked, they did it based on weeks. 27 to 40, and I'm doing math. Again, watch me whip, watch me nay. Let's see here. When they asked the third trimester, or 27 to 40 weeks, 156.
They say, please indicate the extent to which you believe abortion should be legal in the following cases.
Plus 270. 432 of the people said illegal in most cases or in all cases. Remember that, 432. Compared to a very small, I'm doing the math on the fly here, 183 said legal. So you're looking at that's 3 to, not quite 3 to 1, but 2.5 to 1. People said the opinion of Destiny Wells and Jennifer McCormick is completely outside of the mainstream of society, which is the exact thing that we were saying throughout the course of that election. You're losing people on your opinion. I know you saw this stupid Ball State survey thing and you thought that was some Charlie and the Chocolate Factory golden ticket to all abortion all the time. But clearly this survey is showing...
They would have liked to have had this updated survey before the election.
Right. Now, compare that to 13 to 26 weeks. Now, that's a broad range, obviously, but 15 weeks falls in that. 183 plus 168. Remember this number, 351. 351 said illegal in most cases or all cases compared to 264. So 1.5, you're still losing on that. Still, by 1.5 times, people are saying that should have been, it was the worst. This was the worst. Whoever gave those two women that campaign advice should never be allowed to work in politics ever again, because it was, in this state, it was the absolute worst advice you could have given them, and it bears out in this survey.
The other shocking thing about this survey is where people get their news from, and leading the sometimes category was radio.
Yeah, we're number two. We're number two overall. Newspaper, print, or online is still number one, and then radio.
Yeah, social media is very high, though. I was surprised by that.
Oh yeah,
people getting their information.
No, wait a second. We're in the middle there. Are we winning? I'd have to do that math in terms of the. We may be win. I don't know. It's too much math. I've done enough. We're doing still pretty good, though. We're still doing pretty good.
We're still number one, regardless of what the survey says. All right, you've got something you'd like to get off your chest,
All right? So we continue to hear the throngs of people clamoring for me to run as the head of the Indiana Republican Party. I had a very, very interesting conversation with one of the deciders yesterday, and I have a list of things. You might call it a list of demands when we come back. How about that?
All right, that's what we'll call it. It is Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Galloway for a three. Throws it up and in, and a foul. For a three, yes. And a Bacco.
Mike Goodson has an exciting roster of veterans, transfers, and freshmen.
He dribbles it once, twice, still battling.
Miami of Ohio makes the trip to Bloomington tomorrow.
Throws it up, go!
John Herrick with the pregame at 6. Don Fisher has the tip at 7 on your home for IU basketball. 93 WIBC.
Transform your home with Galaxy Concrete Coatings. Say goodbye to cracked, stained floors and hello to durable, stunning surfaces that last. Their cutting-edge technology ensures a beautiful finish every time, and you get to pick out from their many colors. Upgrade your home today like I did. Galaxy Concrete Coatings. They're for garage floors, driveways, pool decks, and patios. They come with a lifetime warranty and one-day professional installation. Call now for a free estimate. 877-417-0635. They're also online at galaxyconcretecoatings.com.
Butler Ballet presents their holiday tradition of Tchaikovsky's The Nutcracker, accompanied by the Butler Ballet Orchestra and Indianapolis Children's Choir. Join Butler Ballet and revel in the magic and spectacle of live ballet. Spectacular dancing, beautiful costumes, glorious scenery, and pyrotechnical flash. Catch this holiday classic December 5th through 8th at Historic Clues Memorial Hall. Tickets and more information at butlerartcenter.org.
JMV here. This holiday season, you must visit Miss M's Home and Garden for great holiday gifts and decor. Come shop for fresh cut trees, wreaths, garland, and greenery for outside decorating. If you have plant lovers in the family, Miss M's has a magnificent selection of houseplants that make great gifts. Now through December the 23rd, houseplants are 20% off. Miss M's Home and Garden wants to wish everyone a happy holiday season. Miss M's is located on State Road 135, south of Whiteland Road in Bargersville.
The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in more places that could expose you more to identity theft. But LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our US-based restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Don't face drained accounts, fraudulent loans, or financial losses alone. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
An official message from Medicare.
Couple more minutes and we'll start this month's book club.
You know, I usually love a plot twist, but this year I'm comparing my options during Medicare open enrollment.
You can't assume your current health or drug plan is the best one for you.
And you gotta make sure your drugs are covered. That's important.
So is saving money.
Review all your options at Medicare.gov. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
See Pierce Jewelers' breathtaking selection of lab-grown diamonds, refined to perfection and value. It's the new choice in diamonds. Shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers.
The Indiana Republican Party chair, Randy Head, resigned earlier this week from his post after 5 months at the helm. So far, Aaron Lucas has been filling in as the interim, but you've been doing some digging, finding out how they're going to select a new party chair.
Yes, I got interested in this because the guy just quits with no notice. Hey, I'm out. And I was like, that's not how you do a job, right? Like, what? And then it comes out and he goes, well, I wanted to go back to being a lobbyist, and the session's getting ready to start, and you can't be a lobbyist in the state party chair. And I was like, ooh, that shows you how. If you think you got any chance when dealing with the General Assembly, think about how powerful it is to be a lobbyist, right? This is the takeaway. This guy was the head of the state party, Randy Head. And being a lobbyist is so powerful and so lucrative.
Right.
He gave up being the head of the state party so that he could go back to lobbying. That tells you right there. First takeaway, if you remember nothing else other than this little exercise I've done the past few days, how powerful these lobbyists are and the stranglehold that they have over the Indiana Republican Party in the General Assembly, that this guy gave up the power of being the head of the state party to ensure that he could lobby come start of the General Assembly. All right, so that's one thing we've proven. We're just checking boxes, right?
Yeah.
All right, so the other thing then it came to me, I realized, is nobody ever has any idea how this works. Nobody knows, how does this person get chosen? When does it happen? How does the vote go? It's just like the Pope, where smoke just comes out of a stack somewhere, and you're like, here's the new head of the party. Well, did he run? Did this person run against somebody? Was there a filing opportunity?
The State Central Committee elects a new leader. How do they do that?
Yeah.
When do they meet?
You can't find
What's the criteria?
You can't find it anywhere. Casey, we had as many as 6 people on this at one point. It took me 6 people to put all the pieces together. We finally determined that there's a vote on December the 17th for this. You've got to file 72 hours ahead of time. And we had Joseph Bortcon, who's a convention delegate, yesterday. But the point is, look at all the effort it took for me to put all of this together with all the resources that I have. No regular person has the time to do this or the ability to do this, which means the Republican Party is proving to you, we don't want you knowing about what goes on. We don't want you to find out what's happening. We don't want to be transparent about what we're doing. We just want you to shut up and pay. Just vote for us, shut up and pay, and then we're going to make you pay to run our elections because, hey, when it comes to like statewide elections, we're too incompetent to handle those on our own. So we need you to pay millions of dollars. But when it comes to you knowing who we're picking to lead this party, oh, no.
Yeah.
So I had said, well, maybe I ought to run to bring some transparency to this whole process. Now, I saw the list of people that are voting on this, and if I were to end up floating face down in the Monon, there might be several prime suspects on the list. And so I'm not wasn't under any delusion that I would be winning this, but I said I could be enough of a pain in the ass and cause enough headaches that I would get all the information and we could bring this out to the people. And So I've been operating the past couple days, taking input on whether I should do this. And I actually had a long conversation yesterday with one of the people who would be voting on this process. And I decided that I've got a couple of things that I think if these, maybe demands are a strong word. Maybe demands. Requests.
Suggestions.
I have a couple of very small requests.
Mm-hmm.
And if these requests are met,
yeah,
then I think I would be comfortable with
whoever
there being a
they
new party chair.
Mm-hmm.
Because, look, I'm probably going to dislike whoever it is anyway. But if they just do a couple of very simple things, then I'll leave you alone.
Okay.
Should we do it now or should we go to the news with Kurt and then come back and give the request?
I think we should come back and give the request because we need full attention by those that are listening.
All right, Kurt,
They know who they are.
Kurt, everybody wants to hear this, so don't screw up the news. Keep our audience engaged, and we'll do perfect.
No pressure.
Great. Kurt Darling's next with the news.
On 93 WIBC.
Okay, close your mouth and take a deep breath in through your nose. So the way it's supposed to be is that you should be able to breathe easily. You shouldn't feel constrained. What it should feel like is air briskly flowing freely through both nasal passages, day and night. And if not, there's a problem. And it's a don't know what your problem really was until you got it fixed kind of problem. You're living with it. I mean, you're tired a lot. It might give you headaches and sinus pressure, but you're living with it. Yeah, you sound like almost every patient we help until we get their problem fixed. And then you hear them saying, why would I put up with that? Advent will get you breathing freely again with simple in-office solutions like turbinate reduction along with balloon sinuplasty that really can change your life.
To date, Advent has solved over 40,000 breathing triangle problems. Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. AdventKnows.com. Results may vary.
PA Jewelers in Brownsburg is your one and only spot for Christmas and holiday gifts this year, and I shop at PA Jewelers. Jewelry for my wife, watches for my wrist, that's what I get from PA Jewelers. They have an incredible selection of one-of-a-kind pieces, vintage pieces, specialty pieces. Visit PA Jewelers today to get your Christmas shopping done today. More than a kiss, visit PA Jewelers inside Premier Arms, 3754 South Green Street in Brownsburg. PA Jewelers is worth the trip. 317-858-3030 or online at premierarms.com.
An official message from Medicare.
Medicare plans change from one year to the next. And this year, it's important for you to review your current coverage and compare all your options during Medicare open enrollment. Compare health plans, drug coverage, and costs. See if you can save some money, and don't forget to make sure your drugs are covered. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Visit Medicare.gov or call 1-800-MEDICARE.
Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Breathe in the wonder and joy of Christmas, where the extraordinary often shines through the ordinary moments, through kindness, care, and compassion. At Franciscan Health, we provide care rooted in faith, love, and dignity, and believe life is a gift and every moment is extraordinary. So take a breath and give thanks as we celebrate the birth of our Savior, Jesus Christ. Merry Christmas. Franciscan Health. Love your extraordinary life.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level. On the go.
They may be learning more. Radar is clear. It's 15 degrees and sunny downtown. I'm Kurt Darling. Here's what's trending at 10:30. There could be more clues as to why a man shot the CEO of United Healthcare.
The shooter may have left a message on evidence found at the scene where 50-year-old Brian Thompson was gunned down yesterday morning outside a New York City hotel. Now we are learning some clues about a possible motive. According to the New York Post, quote, the NYPD is investigating the possible message, which appears to include the words deny, depose, and defend written on live rounds and shell casings left behind by the masked assassin.
Fox's Chanley Painter. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell says any decision on interest rates this month won't take into account President-elect Trump's plans to raise tariffs and restrict immigration. While some experts say those plans will raise inflation, Powell said Wednesday that he doesn't know the details of those plans and can't make policy based on limited info. I'm Kurt Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
In life and in high school sports, the most talented person doesn't always win.
And the most successful people are not always the most gifted. I'm Owen Fouts from Yorktown High School.
And I'm Lena Jones from Plymouth High School. More often than not, success requires being what other people are unwilling to be.
Consistent, disciplined, persistent, without taking shortcuts.
It's often the most dedicated, hardest working person or team that rises to the top.
The ones who run extra drills, who stay late in the weight room, who put in time after practice.
They say hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. And those who rise to the challenge are met with the greatest rewards.
I'm IHSAA Commissioner Paul Knighty. Support the hard work of our student athletes by buying a ticket to your school's athletic events. Thank you for being a champion of high school sports. This is consistency and commitment. This is discipline and dedication. This is your IHSAA.
Hey guys, it's Rob for Life Church. It's Thursday. That means Sunday's going to be here before you know it. And this Sunday, if you're looking for a new church home or even a first church home, Christmas season might be a great time for you to check out Life Church. We love Life Church. They've been so good to me, to my family. They're warm, they're welcoming. They treat you like so much more than just a number. You're an individual. And, you know, over the years, many WIBC listeners have found a home at Life Church. We meet them all the time on Sundays. See it for yourself. See why. You got nothing to lose and everything to gain. Campuses all across central Indiana, Noblesville, Fishers, Eagle Creek, and Pendleton. They got amazing online services. Learn more about everything at lifechurchin.com.
V's offering our Black Friday extended sale. 52% off, 10% manufacturer rebates, and 18 months, no interest, no payments.
Proud to be an employee of Woo!
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC. It's time to hear from you. Kendall and Casey present Voicemails. Brought to you by QC Kinetics for non-surgical regenerative medicine treatment at 317-559-PAIN.
We'll get to your voicemails in just a minute at 317-684-8444. But first, Rob, some suggestions.
Is that what we're calling them?
For the state party.
In order to keep me from potentially running
Requests,
for state party chair?
Demands, asks.
Well, look, this is, and so again, yesterday I had a long conversation with one of the deciders, and, you know, one of the fun things for me about this job is every so often, you know, we get on something or stumble on something, and it's like choose your own adventure. It just keeps opening more and more doors, and I end up learning so much.
Yes.
And then I can educate you, the populace,
it's great.
As a whole. And I think
that's why we love you.
So out of this, because I'm very busy here, and I've got, this show, and I've got the State House Happenings, and I've got the sports betting podcast, and I really don't want to have to do this, but I will. I will be a colossal pain in these people's ass and give them a giant headache if I have to, because this is a real opportunity to create a benefit for the populace as a whole, educate our audience, and end up with something that's going to end up being better for every person hearing our voice right now. So if I have to do it, I will. I don't think, after talking to somebody yesterday, though, I don't think if some very simple things are met, that I'm going to have to go through this process.
What are the simple things?
Well, here, are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you ready? I would, flutter a piece of paper here like I was. There you go. But I typed it out, so I don't want to mislead the audience. All right. And you tell me if you think this is unreasonable, Casey. Are you ready?
Yeah.
And I wrote it down so it'd be very formal in the way that it was written.
Clear.
The
Specific.
next head of the Indiana Republican Party needs to publicly pledge to support the signature agenda item of the incoming governor, property tax reform. I am requesting that person pledge to not only support Braun's property tax plan, but to engage Republicans in the General Assembly to ensure its passage. Not part of it, not a watered-down version, but Braun's full property tax proposal that resets bills to 2021 levels, caps assessment growth, and reforms referendums.
Makes sense. You want everybody on the same page and working towards the same goal.
Here's why this is so logical. Now, look, there's some rumors out there that some people in the Central Committee and, in the general, they're not real pleased that Braun's in there. They don't really like Braun all that much. And yet, he's the head of the party now. He's the face of the party. And, well, as a Republican in good standing, I would be running on, if I were to run for this position,
my obligation to ensure
that his plan gets executed.
That's right, that the governor succeeds.
Yeah.
Nobody is a more loyal, better Republican in good standing than Rob Kendall. And so I would run on the idea of supporting the governor, unlike anybody else. And so if anybody is going to, usurp, is that the word I would be looking for? Take my rightful place as the head of the party. I mean, is there any more influential Republican in the state than me?
Yeah, no. So if you're not going to be in that position, the person who is needs to pledge support to Braun's tax reform plan.
Because a big part of the upcoming, look, there's no fundraising really to be done because they're in the budget session, which the lawmakers cannot fundraise during a budget session. There's no elections going on right now. So the major thing that will be in front of what is likely to be an interim person anyway, because they'll reorganize the Central Committee in March, is to help drive the legislative agenda of the governor. And so this person needs to, any person who wants to be this needs to publicly come out and say, because if Mike Braun fails on property tax reform, he'll be a one-term governor. People are, I mean, the survey we just read, they're sick of it. And he made the promise that he was going to deliver on it. So you have to ensure if you actually care about the Republican Party and you actually care about Mike Braun and you actually want him to succeed, it's going to take a full force approach from the Republican Party on these lawmakers to counteract these angry red-shirted teachers and local government weirdos and everything else who are going to lose their minds over the idea they might lose 7 cents to help people afford to stay in their homes. And the person who can have a major impact on that is if the state party chair comes out and says, I am for this, and I'm going to use the full power of the Republican Party to encourage, pressure, whatever word they want to use, these rank-and-file lawmakers to not let Mike Braun fail on his signature agenda. Nobody would be better at that than me, and I think that is the issue that if somebody would come out and say that, I think I would feel much better about allowing this process to go forward without me.
Yeah, so we're asking our listeners to help us support Mike Braun, get this across the finish line. So the chair of the Indiana Republican Party needs to help with the agenda too.
That's right. One other thing. Now, I had a long list, but I want to get to voicemails here. I am requesting transparency in this process. I'm sick of the backroom deal. Smoke comes out of a stack. Look, I know enough now to be very dangerous in this process, and I know that they are, some of them have some person there. By the way, I've heard it's very hard. They're not getting many shining stars out there throwing in, which is why they, for the first time ever, publicly announced, hey, send your resume in. I've never seen them say, send your resume in. I'm requesting some transparency for once in this process. And
look what we had to go through just to find out how it's selected.
So what I'd like is the Central Committee, I think they're narrowing in on someone who's willing to take pity on these people and do this job for a while. Publicly reveal who the preferred candidate is by early next week, and explanation of why this person is who they would prefer. Gives this person a chance to check agenda item 1.
Right, pledge their support to
Braun, and what the position actually pays and who's paying it. Because every person we've talked to, it's different for everybody.
Yeah.
Well, how are they getting paid? Well, it's different for everybody. I want to know, is the Republican Party paying this person? Is potentially another group of people paying this person? Is it a political action committee paying this person? Who's paying this person? How much are they getting paid? Casey, does any of what I've just laid out seem unreasonable, irrational, mean-spirited, or as though I'm just in some sort of gotcha shock jock mode here?
No, you want the chair of the Indiana Republican Party to support the governor.
That's right.
And his agenda. You want transparency in the position.
That's right. And
how are they selected? How much do they get paid? And who do they get their paycheck from?
That's right. That's it. Those are the two things that I want. And if those two items are met, well, then
you'll withdraw your name from the hat?
Oh, I think if those two items are met, I don't think there's any need for me to be a part of this process. But it might be fun to be a part of the process. I think you'd give a speech.
Well, I think you are already a part of the process.
All right. Do we have voicemails?
We do. And we're going to start with this first one, talk about transparency and gray areas.
The thing is, Rob, you're exactly right. The more ambiguous this is, the more money they can steal from us. So if they put it down on paper to make it black and white, they can't steal money from us. So that's the whole point of this. Politicians do this, the gray area thing, nationally, locally, everywhere. Until Donald Trump came in that really wants to help the American people and talk straight to us, they've been doing this all their lives. Thank God we're going to have a little microscope on some of these things and get rid of some of these inefficiencies and maybe get this in black and white and written down like it should be so they can't steal the money from us anymore.
Okay, now here's another phone call, and this person is desperate for you to stay exactly where you are.
This is Nathan from Boston. I still listen regularly, and I wish I had called and said this sooner because I just knew something like this was going to happen. I just knew. Because I remember when you all talked about them doing some sort of survey in the background to see how much influence Rob was really having on the electorate there in your state. And I had mind then to call and warn you that they were going to start, they wanted to know what Rob's price would be because, you know, everybody has their price. Rob, please, I beg you, hey, stay where you are right there on that show. There is no more powerful position for you than right there at WIBC, right there in that seat. But and now, this is not to say that this is Michael Beckwith's intention, you know, when he offers you that thing on Twitter, right? But they want to find a sweet spot for you to get you off that show because of all the power and the influence that you have. Please, I beg you, for the sake of the people in that state and your own sanity, stay right there at WIBC.
All right, I know we're going to get to a break. We love Nathan. Nathan is our loyal listener from Boston. He once, on vacation, drove to WIBC from Boston to watch the show. We love Nathan. I agree. And remember they did that, somebody was doing that anonymous polling.
That's what he was talking about.
Look, there's no place I'd rather be than right here. We've laid out a very small, simple set of requests. And I have no doubt the Republican Party has an interest in meeting those because it's all things they should want anyway.
Right, exactly. They should do that without you pointing it out.
That's right.
Hammer's going to join us next. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel show 3:06 this afternoon. We got a fun Thursday for you. Doug Bowles of the Motor Speedway will join us in studio. We got Rob Kendall going off the rails. Join us, 93 WIBC.
Hey guys, you may have noticed it's pretty cold out there right now, and pretty cold out there means it could be really cold in your home if your windows aren't working properly. And if that's you, if you're feeling a little chilly in your place of residence, call my friends at Universal Windows Direct, 317-659-7574. 317-659-7574. And when you call Universal Windows Direct today, for every 2 windows you buy, you're going to get the next 2 free. That's right. Buy 2, get 2. Buy 4, get 4. Buy 20, get 20. There is no limit. Plus 0% financing for 60 months. Yes, that's correct. Now, some restrictions apply, so to get all the information from Universal Windows Direct, 317-659-7574, 317-659-7574. Check everything out on the web, too, uwd.com. UWD.com, Universal Windows Direct. Tell them Rob sent you.
Lovebirds, you're in for a treat. With your holiday proposal just around the corner, Shane Company is here to help you create your dream engagement ring. This is your moment. Let's make it magical. Through 4 generations as a family business, we've helped tons of couples find a beautiful engagement ring for a price that works with their budget. We've always sourced diamonds directly, cut out the middleman, and passed the savings on to you. At Shane Company, we have the widest selection of ring settings and center stones, in stock and ready to compare side by side. It's so easy. Choose a look that brings your vision to life. From classic styles to modern designs, we have them all. Then pick out a natural or lab-grown diamond, a sapphire in your favorite color, or a vibrant gemstone like ruby or amethyst. With our everyday competitive prices and free lifetime warranty, your forever after is safe with us. Visit shaneco.com and come see us in store. We've got your dream ring and fine jewelry gifts for everyone on your list. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-285-0395. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-285-0395. 800-285-0395. 800-285-0395.
Garage door problems? Call today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis services all makes of garage doors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call today for service today. 875-4577. Call today for service today. Get it fixed right now. Call Garage Doors of Indianapolis at 875-4577 or visit doorstoday.com.
In the morning, call 875-4577.
Service today?
Today.
Celebrate the holidays with your Indiana Pacers this Sunday when the Pacers take on the Hornets.
And here's Halliburton with a three to start the game.
It's the Pacers holiday game featuring family fun concourse activities, including reindeer and a special visit from Santa Claus.
Out to Walker. He's hit a couple of threes. Out it again!
Join in on the festivities and bring some holiday cheer for the blue and gold this Sunday. Get your tickets at Pacers.com. Pacers Hornets, Sunday at 5.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Hammer and Nigel here, inviting you to join us as we kick off the weekend every Friday around 5:45 with Beer Sample Friday, brought to you by our friends at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
Get your content to go. Would you like fries with that? Tony Katz, Kendall and Casey, Hammer and Nigel, Tony Kennett, The Gun Guy, Home and Garden. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
From the #1 rated Hammer and Nigel show, Jason Hammer is here. Good morning.
Good morning. And every time I hear this song, Counting Crows, I'm reminded of great moments in Counting Crows history. I was doing promotions for another radio station at this time, early in my radio career, and we're out at Deer Creek. And the Counting Crows were doing a show. And this was the big presidential election year where it was Bush against Kerry. And the lead singer, Adam Duritz, very liberal guy. So he's on stage. He's high as a kite, right? That's a dude that loves weed. Like, you may know somebody that smokes weed. He loves weed. He's stoned out of his mind. He stops the band. He starts talking to everybody about the importance of getting out to vote. So the crowd's like, okay.
We're here to hear music.
Right, waiting for Mr. Jones. And then he says, "You really?" And he starts getting booed a little bit, right? Because it's Indiana. And then he lays down on the stage, and he's looking up at the stars, and he's like, "Cleveland, man, we got to have a discussion."
Oh, wrong city, dude.
It was like the commercial. You know, Detroit was last week. That's my Counting Crows story. So stoned out of his mind, wanted you to vote for Kerry and didn't know what city he was in.
Is that a better experience you had or the Billy Idol experience?
Oh, Billy Idol. Billy Idol at the old ZPL concert. I think it was an Uncle Sam jam. Comes off the stage, looks at me, looks at my radio partner, Kelly McKay. He's sweaty. Oh, where are the hard drugs at?
Wow.
Doesn't want like a beer or water. He wants the hard drugs. I looked at Billy. Man, I think I could get you some weed, and that's about it, man. I'm sorry.
They're in your pocket, dude.
If anybody here's going to have it, it's probably you.
Yeah, right.
Speaking of 80s icons here, we're going to play a little game with Rob.
Uh-oh.
We're going to take Rob out of his comfort zone just a little bit, Casey.
Okay, I like it.
We're going to play an 80s pop song edition of Don't Forget the Lyrics.
Okay.
So I've got 5 different pop songs from the 80s lined up. You're going to listen to it. Whenever it cuts off, you've got to get the next line, okay? Now, again, you're out of your comfort zone because you normally like music that's terrible. So you can use one lifeline, okay? You can either ask Casey or ask Kev at one time. It's 5 songs. How many do you think he's going to get right?
I think he's going to do pretty good, actually.
These are popular songs I've made.
Yeah, I still think I have faith in him. Confidence, 4 out of 5.
Okay, I'm setting the over-under at 4.5.
Okay.
So here we go. Number 1.
Josie's on a vacation far away.
A little outfield here.
So many things
This was a great song.
Yeah.
Wait for it.
Like my girl's a little bit older.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
See, I thought you would miss that one because you don't like your girls a little bit older.
Oh, ouch.
Oh, come on. That's a good joke. His wife is younger than he is.
It is.
All right. 1 for 1, baby. Number 2. Can. Hand.
into the night, and then you put your arms around me.
Come on, Rob.
I think we're alone now.
Oh, he's rolling. He is rolling.
Nice.
Yeah, that was Tommy James and the Shondells was the
original.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so that's old music.
That was Tiffany's remake. Like Tiffany versus Debbie Gibson was the equivalent of Manning v. Brady when it comes to pop mall princesses.
I was kind of a Tiffany person because she's a train wreck, and you know how I love the train wrecks.
Debbie Gibson was way hotter than Tiffany, though.
Yeah, but you got to ride the roller coaster, baby.
All right, 2 for 2. Here we go. Number 3. Come on, Jesse Spano.
Lose control, and I think I like it.
Yes.
I like it.
Woo! I'm so proud of you. You are doing so well.
That was one I thought he may have missed.
Yeah.
But then I realized you've probably watched enough Saved by
That's
the
right.
Bell
That's
to see
right.
Jesse Spano freaking out on speed.
You know, she's going to be at some Comic-Con in Missouri in like March or February.
Elizabeth Berkley?
Yeah, we should go to that.
Great moments in Elizabeth Berkley history, true story.
Yeah.
Again, working at another radio station, I had booked her for an interview on a show, and she got her phone numbers confused, and she called me at home.
Oh.
So I'm at home, and, my wife and I, or she wasn't my wife yet, we were living together, and she answers the phone. Jason, Elizabeth Berkley's on the phone. Why is Jesse Spano calling you at 10 a.m.?
That's how I roll, baby.
All right, let's do another one. Smoke Show, Susanna Hoffs.
Yeah.
These are the days when you wish your bed was already made.
Oh, come on now.
It's just another
manic Monday.
Yeah.
I wish it were Sunday.
Keep going.
That's
All right.
my fun day.
Look at him.
I don't have to run.
Bengals, love the Bengals. And if you see Susanna Hoffs now, hot.
Yeah.
Classy hot. Like she hasn't had a bunch of work to make herself look like a fish. She hasn't ruined herself with tons of Botox. She has aged gracefully and she's still hot.
All right, one more. This is for the over.
Yes, you hit this, you run the table. Let's go. Casey knows it. Come on!
Running with the shadows of the night. So baby, take my hand.
It'll be all right.
Yes, sir!
All your dreams tonight, it'll come true in the end.
There we go.
Yeah,
Run the table, baby.
I finally didn't make an ass out of myself with music stuff. That's
Good
great.
job. Good job.
That's
What's
awesome.
coming up this afternoon?
Doug Bowles, president of the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, will join us in studio. You, Rob Kendall, off the rails, and we're going to have a lot of fun.
Thanks, Hammer. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Paid for by Christian Care Ministry.
So right now may be the perfect time for you to rethink how you pay for health care. And here's why. This time of year is decision time for a lot of people, but it's also when you can join MediShare and save even more than usual. For many families, joining MediShare means saving about $500 a month, which is a game changer for a lot of people, obviously. But what's more, MediShare members like it. Their satisfaction rate is 98%. Imagine that. And Medishare is a proven thing, too, for over 30 years. It's a Christian community of hundreds of thousands of people now. And here's the thing. If you join before December 15th and you mention the promo code SHARE, they'll waive your application fee, so you save even more right off the bat. I'll give you the number here in a second, but just call and you'll get a price within 2 minutes. And again, the deadline is December 15th, so call now. You'll save even more. Here's the number. 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
Martha was ready to switch to a career in IT.
There's always a need for IT specialists, especially with AI coming out and cybersecurity. It's practically recession-proof.
My Computer Career even provides job placement help.
The career specialists, they're very helpful. They care about you as a person. You're not just a number to them. I would recommend My Computer Career wholeheartedly to anyone.
Take the free career evaluation today. Become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at mycomputercareer.edu. Not available in Washington State.
The deals and specials are sizzling hot. It's the Central Indiana Gun and Knife Show this Saturday and Sunday at the Tippecanoe County Fairgrounds in Lafayette. The best dealers in the region will be at the Central Indiana Gun and Knife Show. Just $6 for adults. Kids 12 and under get in free. Must be 18 or accompanied by an adult. Buy, sell, trade. This Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Sunday, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Tippecanoe County Fairgrounds in Lafayette. For more info, visit centralindianagunshows.com.
David was in big trouble with the IRS.
At first, I didn't owe that much, but after this year, it was out of control.
Then David called Get a Tax Lawyer.
Right away, they were like, oh yeah, looks like you're qualified to say
Get a Tax Lawyer went to work.
Should have called way sooner.
Get a Tax Lawyer has helped thousands like David fight the IRS and get a fresh start.
Call 800-745-3070. That's 800-745-3070.
So this new dose is, nope, that's not it. The price is nowhere to be found.
Mr. Green? Hi, it's all good. We've got this.
This is not just help from a Walgreens pharmacist.
Oh, new prescriptions. Cool. Let me check to see if these are the lowest cost options covered by your Medicare plan.
Oh, that's great. Thank you.
This is someone supporting you every step of the way. Chat with a pharmacist today to find help saving. This is the human kind of help. Walgreens.
Hi, I'm Scott Wilson, third generation owner of Wilson Farm Market, just 15 minutes north of 465 on 31. If you are looking for your source of homegrown, locally made, know where your food's coming from, we are your spot. We have hand-dipped ice cream, 130 different kinds of cheese. We fry chicken, just a little bit of everything, a foodie's heaven. Wilson Farm Market, where good taste runs in the family. Just 15 minutes north of 465, right on US 31.
Looking for the hottest trends in jewelry this year? Come to Pierce Jewelers and see their Love to Love collection in lab-grown diamond jewelry. Shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers.
Tune in to the Absolute Retirement Planning Show.
When retirement comes about, we're now relying on what we have saved to meet those needs.
Sundays at 9 a.m. right here on 93 WIBC.
Coming up in 2 minutes, it's the coldest day of the year. Plus, Ryan Hedrick reports on how much more some city councilors in Bloomington want to make. I'm Kirk Darling. That and more coming up from the Technology Recyclers Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 11 o'clock.
We have to understand the gravity of the Secret Service's failure. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Acting Director Ronald Rowe just told a House hearing he's focused on
what went wrong on the day of the attempted assassination, to ensure accountability, to prevent such a failure from ever happening again.
President-elect Trump was left with a bloodied ear at that July rally in Pennsylvania, where the gunman also killed a Trump supporter in the crowd. Rowe also told the House task force investigating that and the thwarted second Trump assassination attempt in Florida.
One of the things I'm trying to do is put the secret back in the Secret Service.
Referencing technology being used from drones to autonomous robots to secure the Trump Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida. Also at the Capitol now, Vivek Ramaswamy meeting with senators, joined by Elon Musk. The two tasked by President-elect Trump to run the new agency to slim down the government, rein in spending.
Ramaswamy and Elon Musk have really big plans for DOGE, but they're going to need Congress
Congress's help to get those plans in place and actually make the cuts that they want to make. Ramaswamy and Musk want to downsize the federal workforce by cutting spending. They want to suck out waste, fraud, and abuse and supercharge efficiency by ripping up thousands of pages of regulations. But today, in meetings with lawmakers, is where they're going to get down to the nitty-gritty.
Well, that's Fox Business Network's Hillary Vaughn at the Capitol. For a second day, New York City police are searching for a killer. The masked gunman who shot United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson outside a Manhattan hotel. Now, he's on surveillance video from a trip to Starbucks before the shooting.
Well, they might have enough of his face to run it through facial recognition, I'm told. He also bought a coffee, reportedly, and something to eat, drank it, and then threw the wrappers and possibly the cup out in the trash. Could have been a big mistake because they could use that to track him down.
Fox's Alexis McAdams near the murder scene. The New York Post also reports police found words written on bullets and shell casings. Deny, depose, defend, as they search also for a motive in the CEO's murder. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
It's been a little wonky. Radar is clear. 16 degrees and sunny downtown. I'm Kirk Darling. Here's what's trending at 11:02. La Nina is causing some uncertainty about December's temperatures. Cody Moore, a forecaster with the National Weather Service.
I don't really see any extended periods of cold. At least over the next couple of weeks. It looks like we have that brief warm-up for the weekend and then another cool down next week, and then it looks like there's another warm-up after that.
He says we're seeing more snowfall than usual this season, but a little less precipitation overall. A man came to an IMPD officer and attacked him with a machete on the east side. So the officer shot him. That happened on Wednesday.
We believe that, he anticipated a confrontation with the police. And that ultimately ended in his death tonight.
IMPD Chief Chris Bailey. The original call was a little before 4 when police were sent to a disturbance near 465 and Brookville Road. A committee in southern Indiana is looking into a plan to make its city council the highest paid in the state. Ryan Hedrick explains.
Under this plan, Bloomington City Council members would make a little more than $45,000, a modest increase of 115% of what they're making now. That's not all. The mayor and the clerk would see pay bumps as well. The mayor's salary would jump to $151,000. The proposal is called Ordinance 2026, and Mayor Carrie Thompson says she feels uneasy about the proposal, but the talks continue. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
The post office in Elwood may soon be renamed in honor of a fallen police officer.
Officer Shanavas was a dedicated public servant, a courageous protector of his community, and a beloved member of the Elwood Police Department.
Noah Chavez, who was shot to death during a traffic stop in 2022. Congresswoman Victoria Sparks leading an effort to rename the Elwood Post Office in his honor. The bill passed unanimously in the House. 4 losses in a row now for the Indiana Pacers. They let the Brooklyn Nets get away from them last night, 99-90. They head to Chicago on Friday. I'm Kirk Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
According to CBS News, the average American loses out on an average of $182,000 in Social Security income, and it's because they file for their benefits at the wrong time. Learn how you can avoid this with a free Social Security analysis from Bill Demery, your retirement guy in Indy. We trust Bill to help us with planning for our retirement, and you can too.
This free analysis could help you get the most income from Social Security while considering the impacts on your spousal benefits, taxes, IRA and 401k withdrawals, and Medicare premiums. If you've saved more than $200,000 and have not yet filed for Social Security, schedule that free analysis right now by calling Bill Demery. 317-648-5120. Don't lose $182,000 in Social Security income. That money's rightfully yours. Call Bill Demery, 317-648-5120. That's 317-648-5120.
This hour powered by bwindow.com, where their annual 52% off Black Friday has been extended.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Good morning. It is Thursday, December 5th. It's 5 minutes after 11. You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show. It's 93 WIBC. What is going on with Joe Biden? He fell asleep when he was at a meeting in Africa, but it is now being reported that he is discussing the possibility.
Wait, what? He fell asleep?
Yeah, he fell asleep. You didn't see that video?
Like, again, like asleep again?
Yeah, asleep. Like he had the body jerks even.
Oh,
yeah,
my
representing the
gosh.
United States so well on the global stage. It's now being reported that he is considering the possibility of issuing preemptive pardons to current and former public officials who may face legal challenges under a Trump presidency.
He fell, what do you mean? He's the president.
Yeah, he fell asleep.
Fell asleep?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was sitting there at the conference room table, and he had his fingers covering his eyes, holding up his head. I don't know if he was trying to hide the fact that his eyes were closed, but you could see him nod and kind of body jerk a little.
Have you ever fallen asleep at a work meeting?
No, not at a work
You've
meeting.
never ever fallen asleep?
No.
Like you've been in some boring thing and then you just...
Nod off? No. Have you?
I don't know. I haven't really worked all that much over the years.
Have you ever fallen asleep on the air?
No. Oh, yeah, I probably did when I was a producer for The Women. I mean, I didn't really try at all back then. I think I probably
You did not.
I probably dozed off one or two times with them.
Not even when you were doing the overnights, when it was pitch black out?
One time, they had me do the overnights. Like on 4th of July, they couldn't get anybody to work.
Mm-hmm.
And so I struck a deal, which we would never get today because this was Emmis, but they agreed to pay me a just ridiculous amount of money because this is back when you had to have somebody at one of the stations at all times, like overnights or whatever. And I said, okay, well, I will do it for whatever amount of money. And they agreed. And I had to work the whole night. Like I had to come in at, 6 p.m. and work until 6 a.m. or whatever. And I think I did at some point crawl under the desk and probably take a nap.
You did nod off, huh?
I probably made like $40 an hour to nap that
right.
night.
You're demanding all these high dollars and then you fell asleep on the job.
That's correct.
Nice work. Okay, so what do we think about this potential of Biden doing some preemptive pardons for people like Fauci, Liz Cheney, Adam Schiff? These are the names that are being thrown out there. Are these just test balloons by the staff to see how they're received?
Well, why wouldn't he do it at this point?
Why wouldn't he have done it all at once?
Well, what does he have to lose? I mean, clearly there is no. His word means nothing.
Right. His legacy's already blown up.
There's no rhyme or reason for any of it. There's no sense of obligation. I mean, the pardon. Look, a president can pardon anybody for anything, and there's people like
clearly
Bill Clinton who pardoned a guy because he gave him a bunch of money, Mark Rich, and then there's things like Hunter Biden getting pardoned by his dad because he's a conduit to a crime syndicate and an office for sale scheme. But the premise of the pardon should be, look, this person was convicted of whatever. Either society now believes the conviction was wrongly done, right? Like there's some doubt as to whether the person did it, or a consensus that maybe even though the justice system wouldn't let them go, that the person did do it. The conviction is somehow prohibiting them. They've turned their life around and is somehow prohibiting them from obtaining, some sort of furtherment of their existence. Or there are people who are still in jail and you feel this person has, even though their sentence may have been harsher, served their debt to humanity and you let them out the door. It was never supposed to be for my loser kid who was a conduit to a crime syndicate, or this guy gave me a ton of money, so I'm going to, let him out. But of course, when the whole thing was set up all these years ago, we had very noble people who ran this country, and they never envisioned the sort of scummy bottom feeders that make choices in our nation today.
This is according to a report that was done by Politico, and they said that there are questions that remain about the optics and also the implications if Biden were to take such actions as to do some blanket pardons. And they're concerned about the optics. Well, they lost that on Sunday when he pardoned Hunter. But House Oversight Chairman James Comer, he said that Biden is not done pardoning.
Well, my reaction was obviously I knew he was going to pardon Hunter. The reason he's pardoning Hunter so early is because Hunter was fixing to be sentenced to prison next week, and Joe Biden had an opportunity to do it on a Sunday night, right before he got on a plane to Africa. So it was the perfect time for Joe to do it. He's not finished pardoning, by the way. He'll have to pardon at least his brother on the way out.
So James Comer likes to talk a lot, but and he likes being on the media, but he hasn't really done much, has he? He likes to say, all of these things about Joe Biden, but when push comes to shove, he did a lot of investigating, but nothing about the results of the investigation.
Well, and that's the thing with the Republicans is what have they done? What do they do? I mean, are saying the Republicans
are ass.
Right, the Republicans are ass. Like what
a lot of money and time was spent on all that investigating.
If the Republicans had not been elected the past 2 years, how would the country have been any different? Like if the Republicans had not been in charge of the House of Representatives, how would our country be any different?
Yeah. Well,
I mean, I'm not trying to be facetious. I'm not trying to be a smart aleck. What did the Republicans do the past 2 years that you say, oh my gosh, thank goodness they were there? They really unwound this Biden policy, or they held this person to account, or this thing happened that made our country better.
Well, they certainly didn't stop the flow of money going everywhere else. And in that vein, the House Speaker, Mike Johnson, came out and he has rejected Biden's request for additional Ukraine funding.
Right.
He said that he's going to wait for the direction of the new commander-in-chief.
Last week, Biden administration requested to attach to upcoming CR additional aid to Ukraine, $24 billion. Are you planning to do that? What is your position?
I'm not planning to do that. There are developments by the hour in Ukraine. I think, as we predicted, and as I said to all of you, weeks before the election, if Donald Trump is elected, it will change the dynamic of the Russia war on Ukraine, and we're seeing that happen. So it is not the place of Joe Biden to make that decision now. We have a newly elected president, and we're going to wait and take the new commander-in-chief's direction on all of that. So I don't expect any Ukraine funding to come up now.
Which is interesting because just yesterday it was announced that Joe Biden was giving $1 billion to Africa. So why now? They haven't done anything about it up until this point.
Well, where does the money come from? This remains my question. Where does the money come from? Where how are we paying for this? Where does the money come from? This is what I do not get, is how are we paying for this?
Well, we're printing the money.
Oh, thank you. Very good. You answered the question for me.
I thought you were being rhetorical. Like, where it comes from. It comes from the, money factory machine and just raising up inflation. So what can we expect for the first 100 days with Donald Trump's administration? His incoming Deputy Chief of Staff, Stephen Miller, he has outlined what Trump is going to do in his first 100 days.
Well, let me paint a picture for you, Sean, of those first 100 days. Rapid, total, complete deregulation of American energy exploration. You're going to see an American energy boom starting right away. You're going to see all the regulations that are strangling job growth in this country and driving up prices, driving up housing costs go away. You're going to see the border sealed shut. The criminal aliens are going to be shipped home, and foreign countries around the world are going to accept the gang members and the cartel members that are poisoning our families and murdering American children. You are going to see peace begin to restore to the world as the president works to bring back harmony in the Middle East, harmony in Europe. You're going to see him work with Congress to pass another round of historic tax relief. And you're going to see a government that is accountable to the people again. The swamp will be drained on day one. Incompetent and disloyal people that are hurting this nation are going to be replaced with those who care only for the American people, the American worker, and the American future. That's what's going to happen. It will be a new golden age, Sean.
So quite aggressive, securing the U.S. border, delivering a government accountable to its citizens, fast-tracking energy deregulation, and promoting global stability. Is it too much? Will he get it done? 100 days.
Well, he's not going to accomplish all of those things. I mean, it would take you a generation. I remember, this is how crazy, this is how pathetic our Congress, the people who run this country are. I remember when Obama was president and Rokita and I were still buddies. That's how long ago this was. Rokita was in the Congress. And I remember Rokita telling me, a group of people, that it was during a government shutdown, one of the government shutdowns. And the Republicans at that time, so this would have been 2013-ish, had proposed a budget that would not balance for 25 years. They had proposed a budget that it would take 25 years in order to balance, and Obama had vetoed that and said, we're not doing that, and that's why there was a government shutdown.
Yeah.
That was 11 years ago. Think about how bad spending has gotten over the past 11 years. You'll never see a balanced budget again. Jerome Powell came out, the head of the Federal Reserve, I believe this was yesterday, and he straight up said that. He said, we're never balancing the budget again. He said, the expectation of how to pull us out of this inflation quagmire is not a balanced budget. It's not going to happen. That's pathetic. Think about that. Everybody's saying, well, we'll never pay our bills ever again. That's pathetic.
Can we do that?
No, of course you can't.
As
right?
citizens, can we say, well, I can't balance my budget. I'm just going to stop paying my bills.
Right. So he said, we will never pay our bills again. But what he is hoping is that growth will exceed the deficits, basically, right? He's basically hoping that growth will exceed deficits, and thus we'll be able to not put ourselves in as big a hole going forward, and thus you'll be able to slow the rate of inflation.
Right, that's what it is. Just slow it down.
That's how incompetent these people are.
That's the goal.
Who run this country. However, it's easy to pick on the yahoos in the Congress. But if you look at the amount of debt like your local government has taken on, like if you were to go to Carmel right now, I don't know what the actual number is. It has to, at this point, be close to $1 billion. Carmel has to have close to $1 billion of debt. These school corporations, the amount of debt that they've taken on, it's staggering. It's really easy to go, look at these chuckleheads in Washington, D.C., but it's everywhere. Everybody's been incentivized to do this.
To keep spending. Keep printing. It doesn't matter.
Right. So you're never getting out of any of it. The best you can hope is to slow the rate by which you are being crippled by it, and you get the government you deserve.
Speaking of slowing the rate, more than a quarter of Americans plan to take out debt for Christmas shopping.
Tony said it was $900. Is that right?
For the average
person. Tony said the average person, when I was listening coming into work the other day. Is that right?
Yeah. $972.
That's how much they plan to spend or how much they plan to take on in debt?
How much they plan to spend.
Okay. That's a lot of money. You know what my kid's getting?
A felt Christmas tree, which she already got.
My parents are doing gifts because she's 1.5. She's as happy with a box,
right?
Like as in an empty box, as toys. And of course, grandparents are always going to get their kids stuff. But that's why in our house, like we're very cognizant of that. Like you have to. People feel this obligation, like I have to buy things for people. I have to buy things. There's nothing I want, Casey. Anything I want, I can go buy for myself.
Right, exactly.
I don't need it. I tell my wife this every year. It's like, don't buy anything for me. Anything I want, I can go get. It's ridiculous for us to spend money that we could spend to pay our house off quicker, to put in Livy's college fund, invest, all of these things that you could do. And yet people feel such an obligation. Oh, I have to buy this for Fred or for Susie or whatever. Why? Is your friendship based on if you bought them some, do you think of them any less if you didn't buy them some knickknack that they're probably never going to use? $900.
Is it a proof of love? Is that what it is?
$900.
12% saying they're still paying off balances from last year.
$900, Casey.
It's Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
You're
Coldest day has arrived.
93 WIBC.
Winds wrapping around the low pressure. Wind chills only in the single digits.
Hear the news.
Murder of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson in New York City.
Does not appear to be a random act.
Shot by a masked gunman.
Deny, depose, and defend, written on live rounds.
Another news update is minutes away.
The Pacers have dropped 8 straight road games.
93 WIBC Mobile News.
Hey guys, it's Rob for my friends at We Grow Hair Indy. And this Christmas season, when you are making your list and checking it twice of people who to give gifts to, why not consider putting yourself on the list? And this Christmas season, give yourself your confidence back by scheduling a trip to We Grow Hair Indy. I did it several years ago, and every time I look in the mirror, so glad I did. Now, here's what you do. This could not be more simple. Call today. 317-522-2995. 317-522-2995. And you schedule a totally free, no hassle, no obligation consultation. Darren and the gang, they'll take a look at what you got going on, and then they're going to give you some recommendations on how they might be able to make the hair on your head look a little thicker, a little fuller, and most importantly, give you your confidence back when you look in the mirrors. Call today, 317-522-2995. And in the meantime, while you're waiting for your totally free, no hassle, no obligation consultation, check out some other folks and how they've gotten their confidence back thanks to We Grow Hair Indy at their website, WeGrowHairIndy.com. WeGrowHairIndy.com. Tell them Rob sent you.
This is an important notice to all U.S. taxpayers. The IRS is giving away billions of dollars in tax savings through a federal program called the Fresh Start Initiative to aid delinquent taxpayers. This initiative was established for anyone facing financial hardship and unable to pay their back taxes. Qualifying and enrolling in this program will stop all collections, settle your delinquent tax problem, and even reduce what you owe by thousands of dollars. Call the hotline at People's Tax Relief to see if you qualify and get this free information by dialing 800-285-0395. If you have unfiled tax returns or cannot afford to pay your personal or business back taxes, you can now get the help you need. One simple phone call can resolve your tax problem and save you thousands of dollars. To see if you qualify and to get this important free information, call 800-285-0395. 800-285-0395. 800-285-0395.
The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in more places that could expose you more to identity theft. But LifeLock monitors millions of data points per second. If your identity is stolen, our US-based restoration specialists will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Don't face drained accounts, fraudulent loans, or financial losses alone. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit lifelock.com. Terms apply.
See Pierce Jewelers' breathtaking selection of lab-grown diamonds. Refined to perfection and value. It's the new choice in diamonds. Shop local. Shop smart. Shop Pierce Jewelers.
He has finally spoken as an adult. We've heard his voice now. Of course, when he was younger, he had an accent, but it seems that he has lost it. The Art of the Surge has released footage of Barron Trump. He is shaking hands with Dana White. This occurred on election night, and here is what Barron Trump sounds like.
Hello, how are you?
I'm in the business.
Very nice to see you. Very nice.
I gave him a shout out last night. The place went crazy. He didn't
Hello, how are you?
see
It's
himself.
very nice.
Good to see
you.
You too, buddy. Oh, you've never met?
No, it's our
no.
first time.
Could we make him into a fighter?
Trump asked if they can make him into a fighter. He's tall enough, right? But it was nice to hear Barron Trump speak. He sounded very nice, very personable. He shook two guys' hands. He asked them both, hi, how are you doing? And I think that there's going to be a lot of younger women who are going to set their eyes on Barron Trump.
Yeah, he's rich.
Yeah, he's rich.
Well,
he's tall. He's good looking.
He has. He will be rich.
Right. So far, it's his dad's money, right? And Donald Trump has commented many times that he doesn't want his children ever fighting over his money. Like some other families.
Well, I would assume he has a pretty good set of people that have laid kind of out that thing for him. And I think they're all either already rich or married into money. Like, didn't the one daughter marry like the son of a Lebanese?
Right,
Prince
and Donald Trump just appointed him as an ambassador.
That's right. And then, obviously, Ivanka married Kushner. They're super rich. The Trump boys are in that business with him, so they're fine. So what? I mean, what? I don't like. You know what would be a great TV show? This would be a phenomenal TV show.
A lot of people are saying they'd love to hear a podcast between Barron Trump and Donald Trump. But what's your idea for a TV show?
Could they live a middle class existence for a week? Like, could they live the existence that you and I live, where you've got to drive yourself everywhere, you gotta go to the grocery store, you gotta do the dishes, you gotta take out the trash, could you gotta pump your own gas?
Yeah.
Could the Trump kids live a middle class existence? That would be a phenomenal reality show.
I think the Trump daughters could.
What?
Yeah, because
the one married a Lebanese something or other.
Yeah, but here's my thinking on this is that they're moms, right? So
no, Tiffany doesn't have kids, does she?
No, you're right. She doesn't.
Yeah.
Okay, Ivanka could. Because she has started her own business. She knows that takes hard work. She's a mom. She's probably changed a dirty diaper before.
She's She
can handle the realities of getting down and dirty.
Wait. You're not going to pull that bull crap on this show. You mean to tell me you think she started her own business in the same way LeBron James' kid is in the Lakers G League team, right? Yeah, he's technically on the team, but it was given it to, come on now. Okay, and you think she was like getting up at 2 a.m. changing diapers?
I like to think that, yeah.
As someone,
do you think she had an au pair or a nanny?
Let me tell you about me. It's been a while since you've been in that league, so as someone who just changed one this morning, let me remind you of how the diaper world works. Ivanka Trump won't get up doing nothing, much less changing diapers at 2 a.m.
You don't think she's doing that for her own kids?
No way.
No?
No way. There's no way.
I don't know. I think maybe.
No way, no how.
Because that's one of Donald Trump's big thing is, family is important.
Yeah, they're paying somebody else to take care of my family. How much parenting do you think Donald Trump was actually doing? You think he was going to like his kids' school events or ball games? You think Donald Trump was playing catch in the bonus room in his Manhattan skyrise with those?
I don't know. He seems like he has a pretty good relationship with Kai Trump, the granddaughter. Like they talk to each other. He asks about the golf game. They go golfing. Like
grandparents always like their grandkids better than their kids.
True.
I'm going through it right now. Every day I look at my parents and I'm like, who are these kind old people?
Right.
Where were you people when I was growing up?
Yeah.
Everything with my daughter is, oh, that's fine. That's okay. Look at her go.
Uh-huh.
Where was any of that? Yeah, he probably is really nice to her.
Well, the grandparents, they've done their work already.
Uh-huh.
Right.
No, my point is, like, do you... look, Donald Trump, all of his kids appear, all joking aside, all of his kids appear to be very... kind, nice people. Clearly they were raised well. There's no way Donald Trump was actively involved. Now, clearly there were parameters and everything else they were taken care of and all those sorts of things. I'm not disputing that.
Seems like he was strict.
Well,
for sure. I mean, you've seen the video of him talking to Barron saying, no drinking, no smoking, no tattoos. I expect all A's.
Part of good parenting, and I am finding this, although it's not, if you instill, and you know this because you raised a very, no doubt, all your benefit and takes after her father in no shape, form, or fashion. But your daughter is very smart, very well behaved, very polite young woman. And I'm finding this out already with my daughter at her young age. When I tell her no, she knows what it means. She knows not to do it. I've never spanked my kid. I will never spank my kid. But I was raised that the fear of defiance was always going to be greater than the actual punishment itself. But by the time you figure that out, I think people should fear their parents. Not fear in the sense of you should physically harm your kid, but a fear in a respect sense, where by the time I figured out with my dad that the fear of defiance was far greater than the actual punishment. You had already been ingrained in you to just be a decent, respectful member of society, and you didn't think of not doing that because you cared about what people thought about you. You cared how society viewed you, that you wanted to be somebody who was thought of as a respectable, good, decent person.
Well, that's why he's so sweet and gentle with Olivia, because he already did his job with you, and now it is your job to do that with her.
The phrase, I know I've said this before, the phrase when I was growing up that I just feared more than anything is
just wait till your father gets home.
Oh my goodness. And my mom, every time I see her now, because she listens every day, she's like, I never said that to you. It's like, you said that every day. I don't know what happened to you, but you said that every day. No, I punished you all the time. You didn't punish anything. My mom would forget that I had a Nintendo up in my room.
Yeah.
And so her idea was sending me to my room
as punishment.
And then she would get busy, and as long as you kept the volume down, you could play Mario or Super Contra, and then it would suddenly dawn on her, but I could hear her coming up the steps.
She just wanted you not underfoot.
Kev's laughing because he did the same thing, didn't you? Yeah.
Yeah, I had my GameCube that I would play.
Yeah. I mean, I lived in a 2-story house growing up, and so my mother would just forget, and then I could hear her coming up the steps. Like, I used to do this when I was a kid. Did you do this, Kev? Did you do this? So I had to go to bed, 9, 10 o'clock. Well, my dad would stay up and would listen to ball games or watch ball games downstairs. Well, I'd figured out that I could stay at the edge of my room and I could still hear the game going on downstairs. So, like, if the Cubs would play on the West Coast, I could hear that game until they came upstairs. And all I had to do
was hop into bed.
Was get back into bed. Well, I knew when they were coming upstairs.
Yeah.
And I did that for years. Kids are conniving.
Yeah. Just wait till your little peanut there starts.
She's already started
trying to manipulate you.
She's already started. But the point of all of this is, if you instill fear in your kids out of a sense of respect, it breeds respect. If your kids fear you, they will respect you. And if they respect you, then they will listen to you. And I think that's with Donald Trump. Like, I think that there was a fear factor, which breeds respect. And obviously they had good opportunities around them. And thus they all came out good, decent
successful
kids. And by the way, you never appreciate your parents
until you have your own kids.
You have your own kids.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Every day I wake up.
When I had my daughter, I remember telling my mom.
Did you go through that?
Oh, right after I said, thank you. I never knew.
Yeah.
Took 31 years for me to realize. The news is up next. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
The coldest day of the year. I'm Kirk Darling. Here's what's trending at 11:30. It's here and it's sticking around. Cody Moore with the National Weather Service says a Canadian system is blasting Indiana with lake effect snow and frigid air.
It's a massive area of low pressure that's in southern Ontario, and you just have this big trough. So you have winds wrapping around the low pressure. We're getting northwest winds here in Buffalo. They're getting southwest winds right off the lake.
Moore says temperatures will warm back up into the 40s this weekend. Pete Hegseth, President-elect Donald Trump's embattled pick for defense secretary, is vowing to stay in the running despite multiple misconduct accusations. He met with lawmakers on Capitol Hill once again on Wednesday. Trump is considering a change of course, though, in defense with Florida Governor Ron DeSantis. I'm Kirk Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Great holiday savings all month at Tom Roush Lincoln. And during the Lincoln Wish List sales event, select 2024 Lincoln Navigators now $12,000 off and get 0% for 60 months. And all these great deals include the Lincoln Conquest Trade Assist. And don't you forget, all Lincolns come with complimentary pickup and delivery service. So get some of those holiday savings right now at Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers.
Navigator MSRP 105,845. Subject to credit approval. See dealer for complete offer details.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-444-9336. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. $1,000,000. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-444-9336. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-444-9336. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds, too. Call 800-444-9336. 800-444-9336.
It's Hamer and Nigel for Window Nation. Tired of turning up the heater this winter? The condensation and chilly drafts coming through your old windows? You need new ones. And now during Window Nation's end of the year sale, get 50% off all style windows with a bonus 10% off. Plus, you could get 0 interest for 6 years. Just imagine what you could do with all those savings. Hurry, sale ends December 31st, so schedule your fast in-home estimate right now at 866-90Nation or visit windownation.com. That's windownation.com.
An official message from Medicare.
Couple more minutes, and we'll start this month's book club.
You know, I usually love a plot twist, but this year, I'm comparing my options during Medicare open enrollment.
You can't assume your current health or drug plan is the best one for you.
And you gotta make sure your drugs are covered. That's important.
So is saving money.
Review all your options at Medicare.gov. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. An official message from Medicare.
Couple more minutes, and we'll start this month's book club.
You know, I usually love a plot twist, but this year, I'm comparing my options during Medicare open enrollment.
You can't assume your current health or drug plan is the best one for you.
And you gotta make sure your drugs are covered. That's important.
So is saving money.
Review all your options at Medicare.gov. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Steel holiday savings are here. Make room under the tree for gifts at the top of their wish list. Right now, power up the holidays with great deals on long-lasting tools. Find the perfect gift at your local Steel dealer or shop the Steel Holiday Gift Guide at steelusa.com.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer? Can we sleep cooler? Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now, during our Cyber Week sale, save 20% on most Sleep Number smart beds, plus free home delivery with any base. Limited time. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
Bees offering our Black Friday extended sale. 52% off, 10% manufacturer rebates, and 18 months, no interest, no payments.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIPC.
Sizzling fajitas, cheesy enchiladas, and oh, those refreshing margaritas. That is what Chi-Chi's, the restaurant, was known for. It was announced yesterday that the Mexican restaurant chain, which closed about 20 years ago, is returning in 2025 under the ownership of the original co-founder's son.
Never been to a Chi-Chi's.
Never?
Never.
I've seen a lot of, well, I recall seeing a lot of old Chi-Chi's buildings.
You ever been in one?
Sat empty for years.
You ever been in one?
Maybe once.
Really?
Yeah.
Kev, you're too young for
When
Chi-Chi's.
did Chi-Chi's close?
They closed in 2004.
I feel like I went to one when I was really young, but I
Mhm.
also like to get the Chi-Chi's salsa at the grocery store.
Yeah.
Wasn't there one on 38th Street? I think there was one on 38th Street here in Indianapolis.
Is it now an Outback Steakhouse?
I don't know what it is.
Because that's what happened after the closure. Outback Steakhouse bought Chi-Chi's for $40 million, converted a lot of their locations to Outback Steakhouse and other places like Bonefish Grills. So it was founded in 1975. It closed in 2004 after a hepatitis A outbreak, which contaminated a bunch of green onions in the salsa, led to a lot of illnesses. 650 people were ill. A couple people died from it. But after, still having the brand, like Kevin mentioned, on store shelves via Hormel's packaging, you can still buy a lot of their foods, including chips and salsa. The restaurant chain is actually going to come back. It's interesting because It used to compete with things like Red Lobster and TGI Fridays, and those restaurants not doing so well. So will Chi-Chi's be successful?
Man, I'm so good.
Was it on 38th?
Man, like we talk about this all the time. This my brain.
You took that file and pushed it to the front?
I mean, yes, 6102 West 38th Street. I mean, I amaze myself sometimes. Like my ability to just I mean, things just get seared in there, and it's nothing's moving.
But you never went inside.
No, but I remember seeing it. Isn't that weird? I never have been in one. I never ate at one, but I vividly remember this is when you used to actually be able to go to the mall, Lafayette Square Mall, when I was a kid, and I vividly remember seeing that on those trips to the malls, wondering what it was like in there.
Yeah.
Because it looked kind of fun.
Well, it was. If you like Mexican food and that sort of atmosphere.
Yeah.
I believe they used to sing on your birthday. They had a special song. Ooh. They would bring out.
Like a mariachi band?
Yeah, and they would bring out like the frozen ice cream.
Huh.
So a lot of people believe that nostalgia and, people's love for their menu items.
According to this website,
is going to bring people back.
There was one in Anderson, Bloomington, Clarksville, Evansville, Fort Wayne, Greenwood, 1, 2, 3, 4 in Indianapolis, Lafayette, Marion, Muncie, and Terre Haute.
Yeah. Well, they had like 200 stores, 200 restaurants, rather. Many locations.
Isn't that amazing that something that was once that big,
closed down?
It's
they
like,
never recovered.
Well, it's like you see these, and Kev, let me know when we got to go to a break. But you see, like I was watching an old episode of The Office the other day, and they had the iPod, the Christmas episode where everybody wants the iPod.
Yeah, the iPod Classic.
I was like, that's so outdated now. He's walking around the office with a camera taking pictures of people. And it's like all of these things that become relics of a bygone era. And in the case of a Chi-Chi's, like, oh, there's just 200 empty buildings. But it was really popular at one point.
They sat empty, a lot of them, for a long time. Okay, so there's an event happening this weekend in Indianapolis, Rob, that we have to talk about.
How exciting.
Big Ten championship game. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel Show, 3:06 this afternoon. We got a fun Thursday for you. Doug Bowles of the Motor Speedway will join us in studio. We got Rob Kendall going off the rails. Join us, 93 WIBC.
Let's talk about something that's on everyone's mind, staying safe online. From text scams to data leaks, we've all heard the horror stories. But here's the good news. McAfee Total Protection has your back. Hey there, it's Casey Daniels. With McAfee Total Protection, you won't have to wonder if that text message is a scam, if new threats will pop up on your PC, or if you're safe from identity theft. Visit McAfee.com/online protection today to get award-winning online protection for just $39.99 your first year. Not a tech expert? No problem. McAfee makes it simple to protect yourself from even the sneakiest online scammers. You can shop, bank, and stream online with confidence. McAfee's got your devices, your privacy, and your identity covered. Right now, get award-winning online protection for just $39.99 for your first year. That's right, $39.99. So visit McAfee.com/online protection. Stay safe online, worry less. Cancel anytime. Terms apply.
This Christmas, as you're picking out gifts for loved ones, take a moment to think about the future gift you can give yourself. The gift of a secure retirement. Howard Bailey Financial is here to help you unwrap the possibilities of peace and confidence. With our free retirement toolkit, you'll get practical steps and insights to plan for the years ahead. From saving strategies to planning tips, this toolkit is like a financial compass for your future. And best of all, it's completely free to download. Don't wait until next year to start planning. Text GIFT to 888-262-1104. Download your free retirement toolkit and give yourself the gift of financial confidence this holiday season. That's GIFT to 888-262-1104 to start planning today. Howard Bailey Security, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com.
Hey, it's Rob. If you want to grow your hair back, check out the precision and accuracy of the Artist Robotic FUE at We Grow Hair Indie. You'll be amazed at the permanent natural results you can get and get back to work ASAP. Darren Andrews, Clinic Director of We Grow Hair Indie, is here to tell us more.
The Artist Robotic FUE hair transplant at We Grow Hair Indie, one of the most sophisticated hair transplant procedures available. The accuracy and the precision of the Artist Robotic FUE is what clients love the most. Get the results you want with our Artist FUE or multi-unit hair grafting procedure.
Don't wait. Call today and find out more about the Artist Robotic FUE at WeGrowHairIndie.com. Call 317-522-2995 for your hair evaluation. 317-522-2995 or go to WeGrowHairIndie.com. and grow your hair back today.
This holiday, shop at Helzberg and get up to 50% off select jewelry, like a unique engagement ring to say,
I want to spend my life with you.
a stunning tennis bracelet that says,
You thought I forgot our anniversary?
or huggy hoop earrings that tell her.
See, I was listening.
Come to the Helzberg holiday sale and get up to 50% off select engagement rings and fine jewelry. A perfect gift designed with the love and care worthy of your story. Visit a Helzberg store or helzberg.com.
I went to My Computer Career because I needed job security.
Because I wanted a career in cybersecurity.
I went to My Computer Career because IT jobs are everywhere.
My old job was going nowhere.
I went because I didn't want college loans for the rest of my life.
Because I wanted a career for the rest of my life.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. Classes available online or in person. Financial aid available for qualified students, including the GI Bill. 529 college savings plans accepted.
Not available in Washington State.
An official message from Medicare.
Couple more minutes, and we'll start this month's book club.
You know, I usually love a plot twist, but this year, I'm comparing my options during Medicare open enrollment.
You can't assume your current health or drug plan is the best one for you.
And you gotta make sure your drugs are covered. That's important.
So is saving money.
Review all your options at Medicare.gov. Open enrollment ends December 7th. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
You want to listen all day to WIBC, but you don't always have time. Don't worry, there's a podcast for that. The WIBC Mashup. Daily highlights from your favorite hosts, Tony Katz, Kendall and Casey, and Hammer and Nigel. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
The screen door slams, Mary's dress waves. Like a vision, she dances across the porch.
Rob, do you have plans for the weekend? Plans for
Football.
the weekend.
Football.
It's Thursday.
Yeah, that's
Tomorrow
football.
begins the weekend. Yeah.
It's every. My wife has an understanding, and she understood when she married me, and then obviously it's been amplified since we started the sports betting show. Like between September or into August and basically end of January, Thursday, Friday, because I run high school football games. Saturday, Sunday, Monday. That
it's football.
I mean, if you'd like to watch the games with me, that's okay. That's great.
But that's what you're doing.
And then I'll be a very good husband again. You know, I mean, I want to be an A+ husband from February till the end of August.
Or April when spring training starts.
No, I'm past. See, they've ruined baseball for me. All these stupid rule changes. So
no, I mean football spring training.
Well, yeah. See, I'm not that. No. See, like I step up between February and the end of August, and then she just understands. And by the way, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm willing to do husband
anything
things.
she wants.
Right.
But the rest of the time, your time is spoken for.
And we're running out of time. I mean, we're not into college football playoffs, but we're into the conference championship weekend, which for many teams is a playoff type of game.
Yeah, well, you've got the Big Ten Conference Championship game coming up Saturday.
Are you going?
Lucas Oil Stadium.
You and your husband are event people.
Yeah, we are event people. We talked about it last night, and I said, hey, we've got a lot of personal things we need to do over the weekend, pay some bills, make some plans. We keep going out of town. But I've decided this weekend we have to take care of our lives for just a minute. We have to pause, clean, take care of our lives. And
clean. There's nothing in your house.
Well,
it's a museum.
I still need to do some cleaning, though.
Casey's floor plan, there's just open space. It's like a...
No, we've managed to fill it with stuff. We've gotten more furniture since the last time you visited. But
I still have your keys, by the way. Do you want them back?
No, I don't.
I still have your keys.
No, you're to hold those forever and ever. If I ever get locked out, guess who I'm calling?
Oh, very good, very good.
You're like my emergency contact, Rob. But I did say to the dude last night, I was like, the Big Ten championship game is Saturday, and we both kind of at the same time said, yeah, and tickets are only $12.
What?
Yeah.
Wait.
You're going for $12.
You can get a ticket to the Penn State-Oregon game on Saturday night for $12.
Yeah, that's it. But here's the thing. I like that it's the Big Ten championship. However, I'm not a fan that Oregon is now part of the Big Ten.
Yeah, it doesn't make
or
any
USC
sense.
and UCLA, all of those teams, because, I'm a traditionalist when it comes to the Big Ten. And I also have long had a hatred for Penn State.
Why?
Since the Joe Pa era. Ever since then, I shut them off.
Because
I don't like them to win anything.
So for some people who are like, why does she hate Joe Paterno? For those of you who are not sports people, Joe Paterno was a legendary coach at Penn State.
Who should have retired long before he did.
He did. That's right. But I'm guessing your hatred is, so Joe Paterno had a defensive coach by the name of Jerry Sandusky, who was, I believe he was convicted of doing heinous things to young boys.
Yes.
It is not known for sure that Joe Paterno knew or to the extent, but it is believed that he was kind of turning a blind eye. Hey, I'm just here to coach football. Yeah. Somebody else deal with it type of thing.
Right.
And it's believed by a lot of people he could have stopped it, got rid of the guy, whatever, but didn't do it.
Correct.
Yeah.
And ever since then, I've had just a huge ick factor with Penn State. I know he's no longer there. It's been years.
Yeah, he's dead.
Yeah. But still.
You hold a grudge. I like that.
Yeah.
Don't let it go.
I'm not going to. So if I go to this game, I'm going to have to root for Oregon.
Yeah.
Even
do
though
you have to root for anybody? Can't you just go?
Just go and have fun. And then the conversation turned into, well, what about the weather? It's going to be, if it's extremely cold, we're going to have to get good parking. But even if you get good parking.
You have a pass right here.
Well, I know. And if it's like 10 below,
just have
you making
Jim,
that walk?
Nah, see, just have Jim drop you off in front of the stadium. He can park at the radio station, then walk back.
Do you see how high maintenance I am about all of this?
Yeah, this is the problem. I mean, I am floored that tickets are that cheap.
Yeah, $12 tickets. But then you get in the stadium and you're going to be paying high prices for the concessions,
well,
right?
Sure. But look, okay,
Is it worth it?
Well, you're events people. You, to me, no. But, look, we've had this discussion before, and Hammer and I have had this discussion before. Television is so advanced now that watching sports on television is infinitely better.
More enjoyable than being at the game.
But you are, and many people are, events people, where it's the crowd, it's the atmosphere, we're here in the stadium. Even if it's a thing you don't necessarily care about, it's a spectacle, whatever. I don't leave my home.
Right.
So that's not a me
this
thing.
Doesn't
but
interest
for
you, at all.
it would be, and this has got to be because, one, if you're an Oregon fan, you're not traveling from Oregon to Indianapolis. And if you're a Penn State fan, while they would probably travel
more so than Oregon,
but there's a limited quantity of people that are willing to, and it's on short notice. Obviously, you don't know whether you're getting in or getting out until a week before.
Right.
So in a, whatever it is, 60,000 person stadium, you're probably not going to be able to put 60,000 people given the geographic location of the two teams who qualified.
Which is why the tickets are so.
So I think you got to do this.
Yeah.
You live 5 minutes from the stadium.
It's a night game.
It is.
So I can still have my whole day free.
You can, and
take care of those personal things, like cleaning.
When I was a single person, I did used to do this all the time. That I would I would just go to events by myself and see who do I run into, who do I meet, and then, hey, either beforehand or after. For me, it was both. Hey, you're going to go to your favorite local watering hole, and then who do you run into there?
Right.
And you make a whole sort of event out of it.
This is the sort of thing that Kevin should go to.
Totally.
Right?
You know how many, there are probably going to be some well-assembled college women that Kevin could meet. I'm not saying that, obviously they probably go to other institutions, the two institutions that are playing. But as we used to like to call it, the scenery would be quite nice for a man of Kevin's environment and place in life.
So the over-under for the game is set at 49.5 points.
Yeah.
And
by the way, we have a play. Hammer and I both have a play on this game on the Degenerates Next Door.
About that, but I also want to encourage people to go to the Degenerates Next Door.
Yeah, so if you
I
download,
can make it fun by betting on this game.
Yeah, I've already bet. Yeah, I mean, I have a Hammer and I both feel very strongly about our play on this game. And so, yes, if you want to know what that is, go to the Degenerates Next Door Sports Betting Podcast. Find it wherever you get your podcast. You can hear our play and several other plays for the weekend. I think you got to do this.
Got to go?
I mean, I'll tell you what my play off the air.
Okay.
If you want.
And I guess I'll be wearing green, not white.
Go root for Notre Dame. Well, you actually...
By green, I meant Oregon, but
Here's the thing. You actually have a vested interest in the outcome of this game because I think if Penn State gets smoked by Oregon, Notre Dame will be the 5 instead of the 6, and that means they won't have to play Alabama.
I'll go and cheer against
them. And I think you want Notre Dame to not play Alabama. So, yeah, you got to do this.
Okay.
$12.
All right, we got to go. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you for listening today. It is Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Shoppers got a no-brainer gift idea for you. It always fits. It's super useful, and best of all, it's just $50. Plus, you get 2 for the price of 1. I'm talking about a classic membership with AAA Hoosier Motor Club. AAA has bailed me out so many times. I've been broken down on the side of the road. I've had my car battery die on me. Flat tires. AAA is there getting me back on the